Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents The Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560, toll free for David Broward, or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Playoff, huh? Playoff this. Oh!
It puts the lotion in the basket.
It mixes it all up.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
It puts them both together.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
When the eyeball falls out,
It puts the lotion in the basket.
then it has to hose it down.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, but I have to get
It puts the lotion in the basket.
need to rub it on my breast.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I have to dry clean my skin suit.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I said, Doctor, I switch my BB in my legs. I said, Doctor, I like to dance around his waist. Mommy, are the lambs quiet today? I said, Mommy, I want to look more like a woman.
My name is Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion in the basket.
It makes it for my skin.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I hold my pee-pee in.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
How much does it cost?
It puts the lotion in the basket. I've got my skin suit nipple necklace.
Now, let me get one thing straight, okay? I thought this was the sports bar where the microphone was supposed to be the sports station. Now, let me ask you this. Because this April 1st stuff, maybe I'm just getting old, maybe I'm a real sour, bad guy, but all this April Fool stuff to me is like maybe for 5-year-old kids, Oh, there's a spider on your ass. Oh, April Fool, There's a tarantula crawling on your anus. Oh, April Fool, that stuff. Is there anybody in this audience that really believes this crap that just went on here? I'm driving to work this morning. And I'm mainly turning in to listen because I want to hear, because I did read my newspapers this morning, and the people over there, some of the doctors and the Panther organization, they're all bent out of shape. And of course, we saw last night the final nails in the coffin, just a disaster, which I have tons to say about this organization. So I'm listening, and Joe is continuing to tell it like it is about Dr. Rotarian and what he thinks. We don't know. Which I'll straighten that out, by the way, in a few minutes, because there's nothing that I said that even comes close to slander or libel, Doctor. But just like everybody else in the organization, they just can't handle it. They can't handle the heat. And then I'm listening to this, this thing that comes on. It was so ridiculous on the face of it. And even I'm thinking, is this possibly true? Not that I care. I don't really give a crap if the Dolphins go get a cold in the draft. I don't give a crap. What do I care? And then I come in here this morning and I found out that this whole thing that people are out there, everybody's whipped up into a frenzy. Let's say we were the news station. And it was the 1st of April, okay? Just let's listen to this. Let's say we wanted to pull an April Fool on the audience, a news station. And we came on the air and we said, there is poison in the water supply has been discovered.
Oh, my God.
All over South Florida. And if you've had any tap water in the last, 24 hours, you're going to die. Or they're dropping nuclear weapons on Philadelphia as we speak. The Russians are pissed off about Kosovo. They're dropping nuclear weapons. There are missiles on the way headed, or Castro just had a bowel movement, or something that would really get people psychotic. Do you think we'd have any credibility left?
No.
No. Now, let me ask you, is it me? Because I got a pretty good sense of humor. I find humor in almost anything. Do you find that this exercise that just went on here for the last couple of hours, do you find that amusing?
No, but I don't care.
No, I don't care either.
They're just sucking in a bunch of sports types. Who cares about them?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. They deserve it. And this guy, I bet $300 in my cousin. Yeah. Good. You deserve it, asshole. That'll teach you. Don't believe anything you hear on this radio station. There you go. Oh! It's all a bunch of crap. I think that's the message. Maybe we ought to have a big billboard campaign, which we'll never have that, but that would be a good idea. If you hear it on QAM, you know it's a pile of crap.
Crap.
Yeah, there you go. That could be our slogan.
Crap.
The crap station. Life is a bunch of crap, so why the hell not us? I don't know whether to laugh or eat a banana, okay? Another April Fool. I can think back what?
What did I tell you right before the show?
What?
Is it true? What can you tell me about the
No, actually, what is true, they traded Dan Marino for 2 bags of sporting equipment, a couple of jock straps, and a partridge in a pear tree. And Danny Bone a douchebag. How the hell do we know? When you hear it on your sports station, you're supposed to believe it's true, right? Even as ridiculous as it sounds, just Richmond Webb and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for a draft pick, which may or may not be this one or Edgerrin or that one. I mean, just ludicrous. But nevertheless, this is where these sports nerds tune in to get their information. And there are people running to their computer, and they're looking it up, and they're betting, and they're calling people all around the country, and they can't find it, and yada, yada, yada. April Fool! Yeah. I am just astonished. But anyway, happy Pesach to you. Happy Easter. Happy Good Friday tomorrow. Oh, what's that, another new one? Boy, now we got to...
You probably already have this one, 104.
No, I do not.
Oh, okay, great.
Like I said, it's another new one. Let's get that right on immediately, if not sooner. But anyway, I'm just shocked. I'm also... Oh, by the way, here's... before we get into the Panther stuff, and Dr. Atarian and the Cleveland Clinic and all these other experts, here's today's letter, our insipid letter to the editor of the day. And, of course, it comes from our favorite newspaper, the Miami Herald. Oh! The heading, they put Castro's baseball jinx. By the way, thank goodness we don't have any people who are superstitious down here in South Florida. Well, we got all kinds of... We got the old Jews that put mezuzahs on the door frame. We got Cubans that buy magnetic bracelets and are looking out the window for the chupacabra and whatever else. The letter from Angel Suarez in Miami says, poor Baltimore Orioles fans, by shaking Fidel Castro's bloody hands, owner Peter Angelos received Castro's jinx. The Orioles will never win a World Series as long as Mr. Angelos is the owner. End of letter. There you go, boys and girls. Oh! Today's insipid letter to the editor of the day. The Castro jinx. He shook the bearded one's hand, and now the Orioles are cursed from now till the end of time. You believe it?
Yes.
Good. Getting back to last night, do we have to? Do we have to get back to this whole business? This Pavel Bure business? See, it's not just the Pavel Bure business. It's stuff I've been telling you for a very, very long time. For 6 years now. But I'm a bad guy. Most people don't want to believe me. Before I even get into anything about the organization, let me just tell you this. We get there to the game, usual time last night, about 6:15, 6:20. I walk in, and the arena, the inside, is almost dark. Very few lights are on. I said to the usher, I joked, I said, is Wayne cutting back on electricity now? Are we trying to conserve cash? And he just laughed. I mean, it was finster in there. And I look around, and there's, maybe 3 other people in the joint. Now, I will say, by the time the game got underway, we got well into the first period, that the crowd, it improved, it filled in. There were maybe a couple thousand empty seats. But at one point, it looked like nobody was going to be there. And as I started looking around in my section and the section to my right, 134, I'm looking around. I said, where the hell is everybody I know? There may have been 50 people in that arena last night who are usually where they are. Because when you're going to have a sporting event in Sunrise on Pesach, see, it's a matter of priorities. Isn't that pathetic? It's a matter of priorities. Well, what did they schedule the game for anyway on Pesach? Because they figured you could have your damn Seder after the game or something, okay? In fact, it would have been the Last Supper after that game, believe me. For everybody. I don't get it. I mean, sitting around drinking wine and having matzah is more important than coming and supporting the Panthers, even though they stink? God. I'm sorry. I want to apologize on behalf of all the Jews who come to the Panther games. I want to apologize to the team that, except for a few of us, nobody else bothered to show up because it was more important to sit around eating cardboard with the butter and salt on it and dipping their parsley in the salt water and oozing some horseradish on each other's rectum, whatever they were doing last night. I'm sorry. I know people like to sit around with a family and they like to have the Mogan David, but come on. At a time when we needed your support, we needed you to be there. And by the way, some of the bozos you gave your tickets to, who were standing around in the aisles standing in front of us while we're trying to watch the game while the game was going on, and people are finally screaming, sit down already, you jackass! Oh. But anyway. Hey, life goes on. Maybe life is just a big April Fool. Maybe I'm not even here today. Maybe this is on tape. April Fool! I still can't get over. I don't think I'll ever recover from this whole. And we're like only a matter of yards away from that room.
Why does that surprise you?
It doesn't. You're right. Because I'm old and naive. Okay. Who's being naive now? K. That's with a Q and a CH. K. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. We've got lots to say today about that whole organization, this whole doctor bit, and et cetera.
Jim Bush, break the move!
I am he and she has no idea we're together. I see clear through a two-way mirror, I see her thighs. I'm spying, sitting on a milk crate, hoping that the bus don't come. Ladies from the department taking off their garments, man, I've been a bad employee, took my knickers down. I am a breast man, and I'm impressed, man.
Yes.
They are enormous. Look at the boobs. Waiting for my thing too hard and looking towards a bust. If a prize, I'm gonna take my rubbers out before it starts to rain. I am a breast man. Take off your dress, ma'am. They are enormous. Look at the boobs, look at the boobs. Sexy texture, 12-ounce bounces. Don't you think the stroke belongs to you? See how they heave like two bags of leaves with twisted ties. I'm rising. Stroke is interrupted. Jamming at the 6-foot eye. Lovely both approaching, he will be encroaching. I'm a better see if he arrives before I do. Precious suppressed man. I am a stressed man.
Yes.
I need a ball brush. Go dance to blue, go dance to blue. Look at those boobs, look at those boobs, those boobs.
10:16 at 560 WQAM. You know, the sports nerds, I guess maybe they deserved what they got this morning because George is getting all these calls off the air. I think those idiots deserved it. See, they're not going to listen to what I'm saying because, God forbid, they should listen to the Neil Rogers Show, even though very often you get the right information from this show as opposed to the other 20 hours with the sports experts, which nobody wanted to believe the thing about Jimmy Johnson and, Dave Wannstedt and the way that whole thing went down with Wayne. They don't want to believe that. Just like they didn't want to believe that the day that Bure got injured in the Colorado game, that all over the rest of the NHL, they were reporting he's out for the year. And here we were getting stroked and led down to, he's going to be fine and bada beep, bada boop, and all this other stuff, all these things. So let me start at the beginning, by the way, as far as the Bure situation is concerned. I read my Herald this morning and David J. Neal. And by the way, David, I was sitting right there with my Leaf jacket on, and I was at the game last night. If anybody would have wanted to talk to me, it would have been very easy. I was right there. But nobody came by and asked me for any quotes about this story, about Dr. Rotarian at the Cleveland Clinic, the Panthers orthopedic surgeon. See, I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. I said that I heard Joe on the morning show talking a couple of days ago about the fact that you really have to wonder. You see, Gordon Murphy out for so long and Dino with his back, unable to come back, and then the Bure thing getting worse and worse, and then they have to send him to Alabama to the top ACL guy in the universe to do the surgery. And you start wondering about maybe the quality of the medical care they're getting at the Cleveland Clinic since they are the physicians for the Panthers. I agree with that. And then I went into the thing about my own personal experiences there, and I told exactly the way they were. Exactly. One good experience with the asshole doctor there where they brought the whole bunch of guys in with a hemorrhoid thing. They said, fine, just, you'll be okay, and I was. They were great. The other 4 experiences I've had there, I'm real unhappy with, and I'm still unhappy today, in spite of what Dr. Rotarian or anybody else says. I went to him with my foot. I had the plantar fascia, whatever that thing is. It's a heel spur. You remember that? For months. Thanks to the other quack, who wasn't at that clinic, by the way, the quack with the magnets, the asshole doctor, which I'm not going to put his name on the air, because guess what? I don't slander people on the air, doctor. I've been doing this a long time. I did my first day in the business. I love that some of the statements were bordering on libel. Yeah, he's very upset. This has been a popular topic for the past 2 days on WQAM's The First Team and the Neil Rogers Show, so it says in David J. Schvo's article in the Herald this morning. I'm real unhappy with the quality of care, the lick and a smear that I got. And Dr. Rotarian, he was very nice to me, like I said when I was there. They took a little X-ray of my foot. The bone spur was so small it barely even showed up on the X-ray. And he showed me, you stand in front of the wall and you slide your foot. Didn't do me any good, I mean, I slid that foot. I stood in front of the wall and, looking at the wall with my thing in my hand and sliding it and the foot too. Didn't do a damn thing. And then months later, slowly but surely, thank God,
God.
right, that the damn thing went away, the heel spur. And the other experiences I've had with other doctors or doctor at that place have been very unsatisfactory, which I've been telling you, and I don't apologize for that. And it's not slanderous. It's a fact. It's not even just my opinion. It's a fact. I haven't made up any of the reactions I've had to taking too much of the hydrochlorothiazide. I've got the blood test results to prove it. I have no reason here. When you go to a doctor, you're not going looking for a problem. You're going looking usually to solve a problem, not looking to create a problem. But it's interesting that the whole response to everything that's being said now is typical. It's part and parcel of the Panther organization. This is the 6th year, and one thing I'll say for them, even though we've had a change in faces there, we had, Bobby Clark, and we've all the different coaches. Now we got BM and TM. Bill Torrey's been there, the whole while with his bow ties. Doesn't make any difference who the faces are because it's still a hard-ass organization. They don't like the truth. They don't like criticism. You remember last year with the Brian Murray show and the morning guys, and we had to have Christina Moore come in there and Geldy to hold everybody's hand and screen the calls because they can't take any criticism. And then they turn around and they admit they've been lying to the public. That's the best part. They can't figure out why everybody's conjecturing and second-guessing about Bure. Was his knee bad when he got here? Did Dr. Atarian do the right thing? Yada, yada, yada. And somebody faxes me the article by Greg Stoda in the Palm Beach Post, which I'm not going to repeat on the air because that would be like publishing it again. And I know what it's all about, okay? I've been around the block with these things, so I'm not going to read this thing on the air so that they can sue my ass for repeating something, which I have no idea where Greg Stoda got his information. The headline of which says, Bure botch puts stupidity on new level. I don't know. And just like I said the other day, I have no idea what condition Pavel Bure's knee was when he got here, any more than any of you do, by the way. Or the level of competence. I mean, Dr. Atarian, by all accounts, is outstanding. Great orthopedic surgeon. But as far as what he did with Pavel Bure, do I know anything about it? No. So I'm not going to sit here and conjecture. All I'm going to do is tell you my honest opinions that I have doubts about the whole thing with the health care that maybe some of these guys are getting, or maybe they're just very unlucky, this team. But let me say it again, Mr. BM, because you keep sticking your foot in your mouth over and over and over again. And this is the luckiest organization in the world. I've never seen a bunch of people fall into such a bucket of crap. After 2 incredibly lackluster years with thousands of people missing in the stands game after game, couldn't give tickets away, and then they got hot for a couple of months that third year. They go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Everybody's running around town. We love you, Pants. Yeah, there you go. Come on, Joe Lynn, let's hear it. Everybody's in a frenzy here.
We love you, Panthers.
Yeah. Everybody's got the flags flying out the windows. The whole town is whipped up into a frenzy. It was an exciting, great time. Now, after being threatened we're going to lose the team, by the way, guess what? Hey, we found a way to take public money. Guess what? They built the Air Canada Center in Toronto, $177 million. Everybody tells me a beautiful facility. I've only seen the outside so far. It is beautiful outside. $177 million. Was one penny of it public money?
No.
All private money. So Wayne gets himself a $200 million arena up there in Sunrise. Great location. Most of the sports fans, and I hate to break the news to you, Mad Dog. I heard I love you, Mad Dog, but you're full of crap on the baseball stadium on Biscayne Boulevard. Most of the sports fans at the sporting events in this town come from Broward and Palm Beach, okay? Hate to break the news to you on that. But at any rate, we go through all of this, and then not only that, but because of the euphoria, the enthusiasm from that third year going to the Stanley Cup Finals, they practically sell the joint out. We got packed crowds, 18,000, 19,000 night after night, in spite of the mediocre play, in spite of the fact that up until Pavel Bure, we had strictly a mediocre team out there with 1 or 2 guys that put out all the time and a bunch of floaters out there all the time. Unbelievable luck. And then Bure comes in, and he's just unbelievable. He's scoring, he's making shots that haven't been invented yet. Everybody's on fire, excited about it. He gets injured the first time. He gets injured the second time. Well, they're going to do another ACL. He'll be back in a few days. He's skating. He's practicing. We're waiting to see, he'll be back. He'll be out a few days. All over the rest of the league, they're saying, oh, no, he's not going to be back. He's out for the year. It's a lot worse than they're admitting. And then Brian Murray with that brilliant comment the other day, oh, well, we had to say that because if he could possibly come back even 80 or 90%, we didn't want the rest of the league, the players knowing that he had a problem because then they'd be gunning for him and going after the knee and yada, yada, yada. So now is there anybody here who can believe they've totally blown up their own credibility as if they had any in the first place? They have none. They don't have any credibility. These are people who are incapable of just coming forward and leveling with the public. They just can't do it. The whole organization. And they hate me like poison. They're pissed off as hell because they don't like guys that go on here and tell it the way it is. I'm the only one. There isn't one of the rest of you who gives a crap about this. Maybe 5 of you. Maybe the other 5 hockey fans. Not just the people, the bodies in the seats. All year long, I've been screaming about the fact you can't see the goal light when a goal is scored. Last night, here we got all these strangers in there. Most people, who knows who these people are in the seats because everybody else is eating matzah. The second Panther goal at that end, Radek Dvorak, and by the way, you're playing good, Radek. God bless you. There's one kid's playing good. He's really giving it his all. He goes behind the net, and Wade Flaherty, the Islander goaltender, he don't have the post cover. So Dvorak comes off to the side of the goal, and he shoots it off the back of his pad, the goalie's pad, and plop, the puck is sitting there in the net. Now, I want to tell you, you could have sang the national anthem, Oh Canada, and done your Manistana Halila Hazeh 4 times before all of us stood up and said, hey, it's a goal, let's say there was any reaction. I could see the puck sitting there in the net, but again, because of the fact there's no red light on, I mean, it just happened so fast, it was so quirky and bizarre, there's just the sounds of silence in the Mac Arena. That's why the fans have to be able to see the goal light when a goal is scored, and the fact that the organization still doesn't care enough to get things fixed so they work right in that place, that's what makes me positive they don't give a crap about the fans. And that's what makes me continue to wonder if they weren't stroking people along with this Pavel Bure crap just at the time when people were supposed to be sending their playoff money. I was poo-pooing that the other day, but now I'm just playing poo-pooing, period, all over the place. Because your organization has no credibility with me, okay, Mr. BM and TM and all you other fakers out there? No credibility. I mean, when you come right out and you admit to the people you've been lying to them, oh, well, you had to say this and you had to cover up that, no matter what you say now, it's going to be just like the worst team. If the Dolphins pull off some trade tomorrow and the worst team comes on the air and announces it, is anybody going to believe it?
No.
Half the audience will say, oh, gee, this must be an April 2nd joke. Man. Don't screw with people's credibility. That's what I say. If your credibility isn't important to you, what does that say? Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know?
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, they're dropping nuclear weapons on Geneva, New York.
This station stands for nothing.
In his courtroom, everyone has the right to a fair trial. But if they're proven wrong, he has the right to make them get down. Judge James Brown.
Judge, this is a matter of Adams versus Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Now then, Mr. Adams, you did a Mrs. Smith, so they wanted it.
Yes, that's right, Your Honor.
And, Mr. Adams, what was said about it?
Oh, in the wallet, $200 in cash and all my credit cards.
Ha! Good God! Uh-huh. Now let me ask Mrs. Smith. Did you do it there? Well,
Yes, Your Honor, I did take his wallet, but it was only because I
what did
needed
you do?
money.
Hey, stop it now. What did you do to take the man water for?
I guess I don't really know, Your Honor.
Well, now, Judge James Brown say, you don't know better than that. So I do.
I don't know. All I can say is I'm sorry.
Uh-huh. Well, now, the judge say, it's a property steals on property. You give the man back the money, give him back the water, judgment for the plaintiff. And this judge is going to sentence him over you. Get on up. Come on now. Get on up. I feel good. Get up there. Sound from the courtroom.
Be here tomorrow when his law gets down on you. Judge James Brown.
All right. 10:33 at 560 WQAM. So anyway, getting back to last night's debacle in the Mac Arena before a very strange crowd of strangers because everybody was eating a lot of matzah and dipping their thing in the salt water. You know, it's astonishing to me, but I guess it shouldn't be. And by the way, Joe with the thick voice that calls the morning team with that old chronic caller. First thing I get in my car this morning at home, I'm backing out the car, turn on the radio, and there's that Joe with the thick voice. You'd recognize. He's been calling shows for 100 years in this town. Doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, I want to salute the Panthers because actually they're over 500. Well, guess what, Joe? No, they're not over 500. They're a game under. They've been a mediocre 500 team all year long, okay? They're not over 500. And in spite of what I said yesterday, now after last night's debacle against the horse crap team, chances of the playoffs, I would say, are like, yeah, like that. Here's a team that came in here last night that had won only once in their last 13 games. The lowly New York Islanders are only 9 points ahead of Tampa going into last night. The worst team, second worst team in the league. They show up, and it's obvious. Anybody watching that game who understood the sport of hockey knew that this team had no interest in playing that game. They were going through the motions, each and every one of them. Panthers are ahead 2-1, okay, in the second period. Islanders are like putting out a listless effort. The shots are like about 25-4, something like that for Florida, or 20-4. Now, all of a sudden, thanks to a bonehead play, I don't want to mention no names, okay? A big guy named, I don't want to mention, thanks to a bonehead play, we let him back in the game. Now it's 2-2. At that point, all of a sudden, just like in that Colorado game a few weeks ago when the Panthers blew a 5-0 lead, you could see the guys saying on the other team, oh, guess what? We might actually win this game. Well, it'll be fun. It doesn't make any difference. Let's beat the crap out of these guys. They want to give it to us. And from that point on, they had us on the run the whole rest of the night. I mean, it was no contendere, no contest. An embarrassing performance. Very sad. Nothing anybody should be proud of. It was pathetic. Mark Parrish, there you go, Mark. He's going 20 goals. That kid's dynamite. 4 of the last 5 Panther goals, he scored them. He's doing it. Victor Kozlov skating around in those big loop-de-loops again. He won't shoot the puck. Old Kirk Muller, old man Muller, every time he gets a couple of chances, it looked like one time he had a sure chance for a goal. He stands there. He's going to take the shot. He stops. He's thinking about it. He takes a shot right into the goaltender's pads, right into Flaherty's pads. No chance. And in the second and the early part of the third period, when this desperate game went on and on, since TM don't want to take any of the blame for this, by the way. Typical Murray, he don't want to take any of the blame. I'm seeing Chris Wells and Kirk Muller out there so much, I'm screaming. I started screaming at that point. I was so pissed off. Here's a game you have to win. The season's on the line. We want to make those playoffs. Everybody send in your playoff ticket money, okay? And he's putting out a couple of guys that couldn't score into the Atlantic Ocean if nobody else were standing around within 100 yards. I don't get it. But like I said, the organization is lucky. Lucky. Because the euphoria has just spilled over, and the Pavel Bure thing, no matter what they say from here on in, I'm not going to believe them. I have no idea what the real story is. Because they got to pack, 18,000, 19,000 people in every game for next season. Even though the chances now of making the playoffs are slim to none. Just astonishing to me. Can't see the goal light when a goal is scored, and I'm the only person out of how many thousands of people during all of the home games this team has played. How many people have been through that place? Hundreds of thousands, probably, over the course of this first year there, and nobody else seems to think that's important. That's why I say the luckiest organization in the history of mankind. Even though they were public stock, baby, in the toilet. Look at this phone, by the way. All the calls we've had this morning so far, evidently, hey, well, I was listening to the first team, George. What was that? Oh, I don't want to talk to that faggot, but what's the story on that?
They don't know my name.
Huh?
They don't know my name.
Oh, that's good. They don't know you're a Julio either. 567-0560. We don't have one call on the board here right now. How do you like that? 567-0560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Well, I think the time is right for me to touch my body. One part there on my body is just giving me a clue. So I gotta look twice and find myself a hideaway. And I know one good hideaway, and that's my bathroom. Oh, I'll find my Playboys and creamy lotion. Put the towel right down on the floor.
Squirt.
Oh, I'll put my wrist action in that slow motion. And I pray that no one accidentally opens up the door. I gotta masturbate. I gotta masturbate. Yeah, I gotta masturbate, debate. I gotta masturbate, debate.
All right. 1043 at 560 WQAM. I'll tell you, we've had 72 million calls. Most of them don't want to be on the air, though, of course. Thanks a lot, guys. Unconscionable. Unbelievable. People want the phone. See, this is an act to me of desperation. I mean, I realize you guys have been lagging behind in the numbers in the morning, and I realize that. And you've been costing the rest of us a lot of money on those bonuses, too, by the way. I understand that. But if you think you're going to, just getting a little publicity for a cheap April Fool's stunt is going to put you over the top, all it does is destroy everybody's credibility and screw us up here now, because instead of anybody wanting to talk about what I'm talking about, which is important stuff to me, they still call, oh, what's the number? We want to know the real. The real story is you were had, okay? All you sports nerds out there, you were had. I was had, because coming to work at one point, they had me believing it. There was no trade. Richmond Webb, he ain't going anywhere. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he ain't going anywhere. You were had. On a cheap April Fool's stunt, an act of total and pure idiotic desperation. I remember years ago, talk about April. See, I'm not into those cornball kind of contrived, although corn, goes with certain guys on that morning show. I'm not into it. Remember years and years ago on KAT, I guess it was, and Craig Worthing went on the air one day on April Fool's Day. And, of course, our audience on KAT was basically very, very old and mostly old women. And Craig went through the thing, well, today's my last day on the radio, and I've decided to hang it up, and it's been wonderful. I love you all, and blah, but I'm going to go up to Kennebunkport, Maine. If I could tell you the weeping women, the weeping old yentas that started calling, oh, please, Craig, tell me this. I mean, I thought some of these people were going to have a stroke. And it got so bad that he finally had to, break down and say, okay, April Fool, I'm just kidding. Please calm down. Don't kill yourself, et cetera, and so on. What's the point? I mean, it's like the Tooth Fairy, It's like the Easter Bunny. We reach a certain point in life where things like that were, we're fine when you're like a little kid, Pull my finger. That's fine. Once you get to be, 70, 80 years old, you don't pull it anymore so much, and your finger either. Here's a lady in Coconut Creek. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay, ma'am.
I just listened to all that BS at the beginning of the show before you got on, which, I mean, you have to be really a stupid listener to call in and think that was going on. But I was at the hockey game last night.
Yes.
And I should have been home actually with my family celebrating the holiday, but as a Panther fan, going to my 36th game this year.
I'm so nauseated by the Jewish hockey fans of South Florida and their almost universal absence last night. You can eat your matzah any night of the week you want. You can have your Seder tonight. There's no hockey game. You can have it tomorrow night. You can have it whenever you want, okay? I mean, where's the loyalty? Where's the priority for crying out loud?
Right.
I mean, if I'm out of town, of course, I can't be at the game. If they went out of town for the holidays, okay, God bless them. But if they're here in town and they're sitting around giving their tickets away to a bunch of strangers, I'm sorry, that's not, they have no real interest.
I definitely agree with you. And last night's show, if I tell you, I am so sick and tired of them putting Chris Wells on the ice. He is far
over and over and over again. Here's one of the most non-productive people we have in a team, and in the most important game that we've got in the year that we must win to keep our hopes alive, he's out there. And Kirk Muller, everybody who couldn't get the job done, they're out there an inordinate amount of time. Muller was out there at one point. I thought the shift must have been a minute and a half. I've never seen anybody that old play a shift that long in my life.
Well, I'm the first one to get rid of Wells as soon as possible. Get some players on there that can at least, play defensively, play offensively, score. We can't live with Parrish alone. And Whitney. We can't have a team like that. We're not going anywhere.
Well, that's what you've got.
Well, I don't know what to do, but I'm in section 414 booing every time I see Niedermeyer near the crease.
Yeah. Okay, well, Zizen Pesach.
Okay.
Have a nice life. 5670560 pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Kendall. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today? I got a couple things for you here. First of all, those whammy spots must make you puke every time.
No,
you hear
I really couldn't care less. We like the money. We'll take it. Thank you.
That'll work. Okay, Neil. Listen, you opened my eyes to something. Don't get mad quick because I know you hate the word golf, but I love golf. And what you opened my eyes to was quit going to those tournaments. They're so boring walking around. I just threw my tickets away this year. Gave them to.
Why did it take me to convince you that? Didn't you already know that? I mean, wasn't it painfully obvious that it was boring? What's the point?
Well, the point is this. When are you going to stop going to those boring hockey games with such a half-assed team?
Sir, I got news for you, okay? When you're a fan You don't go to the games only if your team is good. See, you're perfect for this town. You're the definitive caller, okay? If the team is good or bad, I don't care. I'd like them to be good, but you know something? I lived through 20 years of mediocrity with the Maple Leafs, and here I am 40 years later, and I'm still as much of a fan as I was in 1958. How do you like that?
Well,
I guess you don't like it because you can't relate to it, can you?
Neil,
You're perfect for South Florida. You're the perfect front-running phony. I go to the games because I'm a fan and because I root for the team and I hope for the best, and even if they stink the joint out, which they often do, I show up and I hope I'll see you at the golf tournament, okay? Not you jackass. Perfect. There's a golf guy. Why do I go? I got news for you, sir. The most boring Panther game in the world is more exciting by 1,000,000 times than your freaking golf tournaments, okay? Why do I go? Because I'm a fan, of which we have very, very few in this town. Even though I don't wear the right jacket all the time to please that fat lady that was there last week, too bad, I still show up there and root for the team, okay? Why do you go? Because I like it. 5670560, pound 560. Anybody from out of town here for the holidays? What you just heard right there, that's what this town is all about. What you heard this morning for a couple of hours with that phony April Fool stunt with everybody running around calling and doing cart flips and losing bets and everything, that's what this town's all about. Bush League, baby. But why do you go? And don't tell us our Seder's important to us. Well, isn't that sad? That breaks my heart. That just breaks my heart that it's so important to sit around eating a bunch of, because some maniacs decided thousands of years ago that you're going to eat horseradish and seaweed and put parsley in salt water. Breaks my heart. Like I said yesterday, when it comes to me, I'm unconventional and I'm proud of it. I'm not just another one of the sheep who does almost everything in my life because this is the way it's supposed to be. Sorry, not for this kid. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
It's Dr. Bernstein's patient. How you doing?
Okay. You're not going to bore us again like you did yesterday.
Well, just a little bit.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, wait, I got a question.
Yeah.
You said yesterday that you were bothered by heartburn, are you?
No, I did not say that, and I'm not, and have a nice day. 567. See, when I wanted this guy to call, he wouldn't call. All you had to do, sir, when I was asking you to call a couple of weeks ago, was say to George, the guy was great, he did wonders for me. That's all. Very simple. And then I would have felt good, and I would have continued saying, hey, yeah, Dr. Bernstein, the book is great if you're diabetic, if you're fat. That's great. That's all I wanted to know. I don't want to hear disease today. I'm talking about stuff. I want a response today to what I'm talking about, not about whether I got heartburn, okay, whether I got bad gas. In fact, I didn't have bad gas until your call. Now, there's another one for you. How do you like that? And another one. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Margate. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
I don't know.
I got a
Beats
solution.
me.
I got a solution for all these crybaby basketball players, hockey players, football players. Send them to Kosovo. Let them fight. Take their pay away.
Yeah.
And let them fight.
Yeah.
And see how they like it when they get $70.
How about we send your ass over there, okay? How about we send your fat ass over there, whatever kind of ass you got, which I don't want to know. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Sounded like Stumpy Jr. to me, if you ask me. North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, if people are stupid like they are, and
if
God,
people are stupid,
like they are,
see, people wonder, like the guy that said the other day about George ripping the callers and categorizing them. We don't want dumb callers. I mean, a few of them are okay if they're fun, but we're looking for somebody that's got something to say. Okay.
Right.
But anyway, go ahead.
But if God made us in His image,
yes, God must be awfully dumb
and a little ugly on the side.
Right.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, why didn't he make us in Ray Whitney's image, for Christ's sakes? There you go. And by the way, even poor Ray's in a coma too. Ray's in a slump. Happens to the best of us. But why in that third period there? I think it was even on a power play. I mean, Ray and Kavashi, they're all skating around in big circles. I thought we were going to see like hockey players on ice, the Rockettes. What was that? Did anybody see that last night?
No.
They always like doing big loop-de-loops there in our own end on a power play. Like, go the other way, guys, down there. That's where the net is. We're supposed to stick the biscuit in the basket. That was bizarre. See, I think it's contagious. Maybe, you see, I don't go to practice because guys that go to practice have a mental problem, okay? But at Panther practice, Terry Murray must have them doing loop-de-loops or Fruit Loops or something because they're all doing the Kozlov thing now, the Victor Kozlov loop-de-loop. Klash is doing that now, and even Ray Whitney was doing that last night, skating around in circles. Do we have that? We'll look around in circles, jerk. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Happy whatever to you, sir. Happy Daylight Savings Time.
There you go. Listen, you're talking about, this thing with Pavel Bure.
Yes.
And then, earlier shows, that I listened to, this thing with Wayne Heising and, what he did with the baseball team and everything like that. And, I mean, to some people, I guess it's important, but really, if you think about it, it's just like with that last caller about the golf situation, South Florida fans deserve what they get.
I don't disagree with that. That's true. You're right.
The average fan, I mean, the vast majority of them, it's not about team and getting behind your team. It's about being seen at Cafe Shishi.
There you go. Yeah, now you got it. That's right. I got people that sit in front of me at the Panther games. They spend half of the game waving to people. I don't even know if they really exist over there, if they're just doing it to piss me off so their arm can be in my face. Waving across to the other side. They're waving. I mean, what is that? How about watching the game? And then as soon as they get done waving, they grab one of their 18 kids and they get up and they go out for food and go to take a dump or whatever they're doing. I mean, there are very few fans of any sport in this town. That's why this whole concept of a sports station and expecting people to call in with intelligent comments about sports, we don't have sports fans here. We have spectators. We have people who put asses in a seat.
I mean, you look at maybe like you say with how you were with as a Leaf fan suffering through mediocrity. You look at maybe a good analogy is a community like in Wisconsin, Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Packers sucked forever, you know. But those people, they live in they're real sports fans out there. They appreciate what they got. Here in South Florida, I mean, the baseball team went to the World Series, or they made the playoff. They couldn't even sell out some of the playoff games.
That's right, because there was no interest.
It's just so.
I go to these hockey games, and I come on here the next day, and I practically work myself into a frenzy trying to get some response on things that should be so obvious, and it's like I'm the only one that sees these things. Nobody else cares. Why should the red light go on when a goal is scored? Why should you be able to see it? I mean, why should the ice be of quality that guys aren't getting injured all the time? Well, nobody else cares about these things because they're just, like you said, they're there to socialize and schmooze. We don't have fans here. We got a handful of fans and a bunch of people who want to stick their ass in a seat, especially if the corporation gave it to them or their friends gave it to them because their friends are having a Passover Seder or whatever. They're not fans.
But they know what's on the menu, though, Neil.
You
know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
And they know the price of the souvenirs.
Well, I'll see you at the golf tournament.
All right.
I'll see you at the Lipton.
Yeah. All right. Later.
I'll see you at the Honda Classic and the Lipton. Anybody want to go to the Lipton?
No.
No. Sip a little iced tea at the Lipton. Sit around, be a real pseudo-intellectual. 5-6. Yeah, right. Let's go to a tennis tournament. Don't make too much noise, though, because it's love 30 now. It's a very important serve. Let's service. Let's try it again. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. What a crock of crap. You hear what I said?
Crap.
Right.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Happy Purim!
Have you ever heard a popular rap song on the radio and thought, heck, I could do that?
Yeah.
So, you're probably right. All it takes is a little ambition, some karaoke-esque musical backup, and 1995. Yes, I left out talent for a reason. And with the Puff Daddy Rap-Along CD set, you'll be hitting it just like some of the top rap stars of today.
Oh, yeah. I'm back in black. Yeah.
With little to no musical talent and even less creative thinking, you'll be a chart buster in mere weeks.
Oh, yeah. It's the time of your life. Yeah.
The Puff Daddy Rap-Along CD set even comes with a handy booklet that shows you how to get older rock stars to help you with your projects.
Oh, yeah. I've got a gun. Yeah.
The Puff Daddy Rap-Along CD set, just $19.95, is just about all it takes. Order today and receive free the embroidered T-shirt reading, I didn't kill my friend to get famous. He did. Order now.
Yeah, man.
11:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Pesach, okay? To all you people out there that were too busy to come to the game last night and gave your tickets away to a bunch of marginal people. There were some nice people there last night. But boy, there were some people that were lost. And then Joe Costello was telling me about where he was sitting. A bunch of rude, obnoxious people with their bratty little kids with the balloons on their head that kept poking them with the balloons. And the old bag sticking her head way out there to make sure that nobody to her left or right could see what was going on out there on the ice. See, one thing you won't find in this town, the word considerate, if you look in your dictionary in South Florida, the word considerate has been removed from all dictionaries in this town. The idea that anybody is considerate to anybody else, sorry, don't have that here. See, now I've got to do a long reach that I'm sitting up in this chair. 5670560 pound, and you know, now I understand. The last few days I've been sitting here screaming and yelling. I go to the arena last night. That's the one thing I kept going through my mind. I looked around and I saw until about 7:25 there was like nobody there, because everybody else they had been given these tickets. You understand, or they scalped them, or however they got them. These were not the regular people that come there. And I thought to myself, I'm on the air here every day screaming and wondering why I can't get calls. 99% of my callers are Jews, right? And even the ones that aren't Jewish, even the Julios out there, they're going out and getting circumcised because they're jealous. And I'm sitting here getting all bent out of shape. I mean, it's priorities, man. Well, I'm not important. The hockey game's not important. Eating matzah's important. Oh, we've been doing this for thousands of years. Well, you've been getting persecuted for thousands of years, too. Does that make it good, for Christ's sake?
No.
I'm sorry, I should have left him out. He ain't feeling too good. He's getting ready to get nailed up there again tomorrow. Ain't tomorrow the day he got nailed up there on the cross with that thorny, horny crown on his head? And every time you touch yourself, even if it's just to go to take a leak, that crown, the thorns go deeper into his head. They must be coming out the back. They must be protruding by now. Just alone from the stuff that goes on in the Vatican, they must be poking out. And the thorns, too. Remember that series, The Thornbirds? Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, I can't wait. Nice job, Gary Bettman. What's that Atlanta franchise? The Thrashers. Have you seen the logo for that? The ugliest, I don't know if it's a bird, if it's like the chupacabra. I don't know what a thrasher is supposed to be. Some kind of a bird, I guess. And that's what they're going to be for, is for the birds. You know, that league is in so much trouble, the NHL, and that little twerpy bastard from Cornell, Gary Bettman, this guy's destroying it. He is butchering it. More and more new franchises. We already got all these other failing franchises. Let's go back to places that already failed before, give them another chance. Atlanta, Minnesota. Is it going to happen there?
No.
It's going to be a disaster. Nice going, Gary, you little twerp. I hope you have a lousy pace-off, Gary Bettman. I hope somebody poisons your matzahs. That's what I think about you. A killer. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
Great.
I wanted to comment about the sellout fans of South Florida.
Yes, sir. How do you like the guy calling and chewing me out for going to the game, even though I got a crappy team? How do you like that?
Oh, he was a schmuck.
What a putz. Somebody ought to stuff a golf ball up his and a 7-iron, too, while he's at it.
Right. I mean, you could go to every South Florida sporting event, and if they're not in the playoffs, they're either scalping their tickets, they're selling their tickets, or
That's
giving
right.
them away.
You got it.
And these schmuck so-called South Florida fans.
Sure, most of these people wouldn't know the meaning of the word fan. If somebody branded it on their forehead, they still wouldn't understand what a fan is all about. This is the only place in America where you have to give a primer to people on what it means to be a fan.
Well, all South Florida is keep up with the Joneses. I mean, the Smiths across the street, they buy season tickets.
Right.
Well, let's get season tickets, and if they don't go, we don't go.
And
you
the
know?
fact that all these people decided that eating stale matzah was more important last night than coming and supporting their team when they needed support, that goes to show you right there. They don't care that much. They sure don't care enough.
Well, a good point is when Pavel Bure, when they announced that he wasn't going to be playing for the rest of the season, all these people were rushing to the ticket office. I want my refund.
Yeah, right. That's right.
You know,
that's right.
It's the same crap every year,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's football, hockey, basketball, whatever. It's the same crap.
Amen.
Okay, Neil, thanks.
And happy daylight savings time.
You too.
See ya. That's something we can all agree on, okay? Not that even if you don't like it, we can agree because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. It's going to be daylight savings time Saturday night. What do they say? Spring ahead, fall back on your rectum. And that's the way it works. Push it ahead. And the clock, too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I guarantee we won't have any Jews calling here today. They've abandoned me. I mean, if they're going to abandon the Panthers, I'm small potatoes. All week long, I'm wondering, how come we can't get any calls explaining, other than your crazy accountant, David, which I don't want to talk to him ever again, by the way. Can't get any Jews. Because they're all busy doing this Pesach stuff. I couldn't even get a call yesterday about Pesachiki candy. I still don't know the difference. What makes candy any different for Passover than like candy you'd eat on Purim? Or like any other ordinary on Good Friday? What is Pesach? Can't get a call. Don't even ask. They won't tell you. You're not important enough. Don't you understand, mister?
Yeah.
I understand. Small potatoes. I think you put small potatoes right next to the brisket, by the way. Can you eat small potatoes on Passover?
No.
I don't know. picture in the paper this morning of some old rabbi with a big beard, some real stereotypical old Orthodox Jew. He's burning the leavened bread. He's throwing it on the fire. He's burning it. People are starving. People are starving, and we got crazy old Orthodox Jews burning bread because it's leavened. I wonder what they're thinking about. Probably saving a lot of lives by burning that Wonder Bread, I'll tell you that. They really are. That stuff will kill you. White bread. It's like cotton candy. White cotton candy, that's what it is, with a crust on it. Kind of like most of your underwear. Crusty. Crap. Now, a nice piece of rye bread or pumpernickel. Now you're talking. You like rye bread? Like dark.
That's great. With lots of seeds.
I like bread. You love bread. Okay, 2 open lines, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. I don't know how I feel about that thing this morning. I mean, I'm nauseated by it. Why did they do that? And then, of course, Barry Jackass and a couple other jack-offs in this town, they'll write in the papers tomorrow about it. Oh, the first team pulls April Fool, and, you know, they'll get some free publicity. But it's not going to be good publicity. It's going to make them look stupid. This is the voice of the Dolphins. It's irresponsible. It's dumb. Get everybody whipped up into a frenzy. I mean, people really think that stuff is important, which, of course, it's not. But there are these sports nerds who think that's important. And they got these people running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they make them some cockamamie story, and then they're putting phony voices on the air pretending to be this one and that one. Thank God people with credibility didn't get stuck in that charade this morning.
That was fun.
That's right. Thank God that people with credibility on this radio station didn't get sucked in and part of that masquerade and throwing their credibility away with some stupid April 1st prank that everybody laughed at.
Oh, my God, your breasts are beautiful.
This Tuesday night on Fox, join Merv Griffin for his 50th anniversary extravaganza.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This was my first hit from 1949. It was my only hit. It went number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1. I've got a lovely pair of hairy nuts. I want to bounce them on your chin. Ooh, just open up your mouth when I swing them both about. And hopefully they both will fall right in. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Join me for my 50th anniversary in show business with my special guest, London Lee. London Lee, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be joined by Chief Justice Rehnquist and Hermione Gingo. Jody Finger couldn't make it. We'll be right back.
What's up, Merv? Come on. 11:15 at 560 WQAM. Oh, by the way, Jeff DeFlores just had a fart attack. Oh, my God. He's in a prostate position. They're dragging him to the T-room, and he still can't stop. Jeff just had a fart attack. He's doing it. April Fool. Oh, wasn't? Oh, maybe that was Fat Boy I was talking about. He was in here this morning, by the way, in case my good friends Linda and Dan, who stopped by at the game last night. Good guys. See, I don't knock all salespeople. They were good guys. Of course, they don't work here. Linda was smart. She got the hell out. I just want to tell you, Greg, they're all on to you, sweetheart. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. By the way, I got a haircut this morning, and I paid myself. Didn't have to wait for an allowance. Here's the lady Mofield in Deerfield, Mofield. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Mofo your money. Yes, ma'am.
This is April in Boca. There is corn syrup in the candy all year long, and you can't have corn on Passover.
You can't have corn?
Can't have corn.
Oh, my God.
That's why. So all the kosher for Passover candy has no corn syrup in it.
I sure hope it doesn't have sorbitol in it.
I hope so, too.
Oh, my God.
I hope you have a good one.
And back to you.
Thanks.
Happy Pesach.
Thank you.
And happy Sukkot, too, while we're at it.
Thank you very
and
much.
Happy Purim.
Good to you, too.
And happy Tisha B'Av.
Okay, bye-bye.
See ya. You know what that stuff will do to you, don't you?
It'll make you
Yeah, right. Wow. So don't eat too much of that Pesach candy, and sure don't eat any of it with the sorbitol, because the sorbitol,
It'll make you
woo! Heavy duty, baby. You'll be screaming from that. The worst thing you could ever do in your life, and I've done it, is to be sitting in an airport, getting ready to go on a plane, on any kind of a flight, but even a long flight especially, and to get like those certs with sorbitol. You know, you're on a diet. You don't want to eat sugar. You're trying to do something good for yourself, so you get sugar-free. Well, guess what? Sugar-free usually has got sorbitol, mannitol, dextrotol, tramadol, and all of that stuff does the same thing.
It'll make you
And you get on the plane, and all of a sudden, hopefully you're in first class, because you don't have too many people trying to use the turlet. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Jews for Neil today. That's what we want. We want a sacrifice. I'm not talking about a human sacrifice. We want some sacrifice out there. Some Jews will take time out of their busy, busy holiday. I want some heathen Jews who, what do they call it, observant? Isn't that a silly word? Are you an observant Jew? Well, yeah, I'm observant. I see what's on the wall over there. I see George is sitting in over there. I see the clock on the wall says it's 11:18. I see, I'm serious. I am so depressed about the way he looks. Bill Hummer on CNN. If you would have just seen, that child needs help. I always thought he was a pretty good-looking kid. Bill Hummer.
Makeup does a lot of.
The wonders of TV makeup. I'm telling you, he is over there in Yugoslavia or in wherever he is in Italy, and he looks just, wow. I wouldn't touch him with your little toe. That's how bad he looks. The Hummer. Here's Boca. Hello. Boca. Going once. After a long wait of 26 minutes, going twice. Zeigesund. Here's Margate. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Well, I got a chance to go to my first Panther game last night.
Sorry.
It was, well, I had a good time either way.
It was gruesome. It was grotesque. It was a performance for the ages, the Stone Age.
I can't afford to go to the games, and a buddy of mine gave me a ticket, so
right.
I enjoyed it.
Is your buddy Jewish?
No, his stepfather is actually, it's his tickets.
See, there you go. All the Jews. You
out of
abandoned
town.
our team last night, and granted we played a crappy game, but I'm going to write that down in my diarrhea when I go home. The Jews abandoned us last night. I'm despondent.
Well, no,
disgusted.
Neil, he was out of town, so.
Oh, okay, well, he's all right, but these other ones, they
I have
can't
a
all
couple
be out of
questions
town.
for you,
Maybe
though.
that's why they're not calling me. They're all out of town.
I got a couple questions for you, though. I'm a big Panther fan. I watch all the games on TV the best I can do, but,
yeah.
Mark Parrish. Why don't they play him on the power play more?
Because he scores too many goals. We want to start doing that.
I kept...
We've got to put Robbie out there. Don't you understand? And by the way, nice pass. Robbie did make a nice pass to Parrish on that first goal of his. But nevertheless, Robbie couldn't score into an empty net right now. I don't have any idea. You tell me. I don't know.
And
why did we play Chris Wells and Kirk Muller into the ground last night? I don't know.
I don't know. And this guy Boyle. He took 2 shots last night and missed the puck both times.
Yeah, but that's a good player, though, that kid Dan Boyle.
Is he good?
He is a good player. He's fast. He's a good offensive defenseman. He's a good defensive defenseman, which you don't have too much of that. He's a player. That Dan
I don't know
Boyle,
much about it. Where'd he come from?
He was from the organization.
All right, so I learned something new.
That kid's a player. You watch him, boy. I sure hope we hang on to him because he's going to be a real player.
Well, I found you.
He's not just another one of those prospects in the organization that they're always giving us a song and dance. This kid is a real honest-to-good player.
Well, I found you in my binoculars last night. I was looking for you in the stands. You looked a little pale to me. You all right?
Yeah, I'll be okay. It was probably the game,
Yeah, I can understand.
Okay.
All right, Neil.
Happy whatever.
All right, bye.
Happy 4th of July. Hey, it's never too early to say the Happy 4th of July. That's another Jew holiday. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Anybody, see, nobody has any opinion on the stuff they pulled this morning, and what does that tell me? See, it's interesting because we got flooded with calls there, but they weren't people calling having to do with you or me or the show. They were like when they used to do that, what's your beef thing on Thursdays? 20 minutes after 10, we'd be, I want to register my beef. Well, guess what? The beef ended 20 minutes ago, asshole. They don't get it. I don't think there's any crossover between the worst team and this show. Is there any at all?
No.
None. Because I'm really interested. Is it only me? Because I thought that thing this morning was just, I'm speechless about it. I can't even find the words to describe it. And believe me, I've been around the block a few times. I know all about every station in America does these stupid April 1st stunts, April Fool, yada, yada, But this was like, how do I describe it? How do I describe it? It was just ridiculous. Carried to an extreme over something. I'm sure the Dolphin organization must have really liked it. Yeah, I bet you they were big on it. Here's a mobile in Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
It goes back to the thing you always say. This is not a sports town. That's the bottom line.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Second of all, you could take the Panthers, the Dolphins, and the Marlins, and they could become a mash unit. As banged up as they are.
Yeah.
So obviously there's got to be something going on with the doctors.
Well, all I can go is based on my own personal experiences and what I see going on with these other guys. And I'm just, that place, I'm not apologizing to anybody. That's my honest opinion. I have no axe to grind with anybody over there, but I'm very disappointed in what they've done for me. And so my confidence level in that joint is very low, very low.
But listen to this, if you pull this up on the net, the first team's got everybody going because this is a double reversal. You pull up on the net, www.nfl.com, and that trade is done. It's a done deal.
Yeah.
So they're pulling a double reversal April Fool's joke.
Great. And all over America, people are going to be jumping off bridges.
Can I call somebody a douchebag, please?
Yes, sir.
Nancy and Scott, you're a douchebag.
Okay. Thanks for the good news. See, now they spread it. And, of course, if it's on the Internet, it's probably a pile of crap. That's one thing I've learned about the Internet is every moron, every jackass, every retard. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff on there, too. There's some real useful, interesting stuff. But you really got to sift. I mean, when you put something in there, you do a search, and you put something in there and it says, okay, here are 10 of 2,683,000 responses. You're starting to understand, getting some concept of how much infinite material is in there. You could put the word rectum in there. Okay, here's the top 10 of 72,462,000 responses. Just to the word rectum. Because there's a lot of assholes out there, That must be the reason. But wow, there's just so much swill in that Internet. And so they put a farce on over here, and now it's going to be spreading like wildfire. What a contrast between the day when they were reporting, by the way, all morning long about Jimmy Johnson resigning and the newspapers as well. What a contrast between that and the day that Hank called me on air. Remember that day very vividly to tell me the real story, that he was holding a press conference and he was staying? And that Hank broke that story, the first anywhere in the universe, in spite of what Channel 7 lied that they did, which they didn't do, by the way. Liars. What a contrast between those two, okay? I mean, even if you want to have some fun on April Fool's Day, you still have to be concerned about your credibility. Now, I realize we got some guys on the station. Maybe you don't have any credibility. Maybe that's the deal. If you don't have it, you can't keep it, right?
Yes.
Here's Miami. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Buenos dias.
The April Fool joke
is
both of them. If somebody listened to the station for the first time this morning, it would appear that they were the April Fool joke, the two guys. Now, let me tell you, yesterday, from 2 to 4 in Radio Mambi, the honor guest, who do you think was the honor guest?
Kiliana Gross-Leitman.
No, Dan Le Batard.
Dan Le Batard?
The new hero in the Cuban community.
He's an asshole.
The man that saved our honor. And you know what he said among the many stupid things that he said? That he had many offers to go to bigger and better markets.
Yeah, like public.
Somebody had to stay in the Miami Herald to save us, to fight for us. In a very bad...
Tell him we'd pay his bus fare to go anywhere.
In a very bad Spanish, by the way, because the guy doesn't even speak proper Spanish.
He doesn't speak it right,
he got his 15 minutes worth, 2 hours of the new hero in the Cuban community.
He's an asshole. Yeah.
Well,
thank God he's not one of those panderers at the Herald. Thank God for that.
Well, not only. Well, the Miami Herald is becoming the new Miami Herald, too, by the way.
Right.
It had nothing to do with the Miami Herald of 10, 15 years ago
That's
as far as being objective in anything that had to do with
In fact, I think pretty soon they're just going to put out El Herald and just get rid of the whole rest of the paper.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
That could be the way to go. But I tell you one thing, it was grotesque. It was infamous what
I'll
that
tell you,
guy
Dan
did.
Le Bastard, he ought to be writing for the Diarrhea of Las Americas is where he ought to be.
Yeah, well, I tell you, 2 hours of one of the worst programs that I have ever heard in that terrible station. Really, it should be recorded and translated into English so people that does not
wait till they found out he's shaking hands with Fidel. There you go.
You know what he also said, that he was the way he was because he was taught by his grandfather, who is one of the Cuban patrons in this community. So the rest is history. The man was sick.
Probably good friends with Hyman Roth, too, no doubt. Okay, listen, hasta que your meters, pal.
Okay, baby.
And happy Pesach.
Happy Passover to you.
Okay, see ya. 567, are we hearing from Jews today?
No.
Come on, let's hear from some not-so-observant Jews like me. There must be some out there. You don't have to be so goddamn embarrassed just because you're not walking around with a beanie on. Oh, by the way, what a great moment last night at the game. There was almost nobody there. 6:30, 6:40. Nice lady. a little bit older than me, but nice, very nice lady, comes over to me. She says, I just want to tell you how much I agree with what you said about the Hasidic guy that brought his poor kid here with a shmata on his head the other day. I felt so sorry for that kid. How do you like that? See, I'm not the only one. There are other people who believe exactly the same stuff. They're just afraid to say it. And she had the guts to come over and say it. Thank you, sweetheart. God bless you. Beanie baby Jewish kids. What a sad, sad deal. Not funny, folks. It's not funny. It's tragic what you're doing to your kids. It's just, why not just say to your kids, okay, I've chosen to walk around looking like a geek all my life. Once you get to be 18 and make your own decisions, maybe we'll give you a shmata, and if you want to put it in, fine. If not, that's your business. You'll rot in hell.
Why don't you go back to New York, you wop bastard? Yeah.
Dear Alanis, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the guy whose house you set on fire last year.
Yes.
God, I miss you, even though you blew up my car and cut all my hair off. I miss you, girl. But one quick question. Do you think you could let me know when you might let me out of this pit? No one's fed me for weeks, but I'm not complaining. Don't misunderstand me, because I love you with all my heart. But if you happen to see my mother, please let her know I'm not dead yet. Dear Alanis, I want to tell you that the guy you saw with your best friend, that wasn't me. He might have looked and talked just like me, but that's surely purely coincidental. I was nowhere near that place. I love you too much to look at anyone else. Dear Alanis, I had a dentist appointment that day, and I was nowhere near the Sheraton Meadowlands Hotel. I would never cheat on somebody who treats me so good and wins all those Grammys, has all that money. Hey, come on, let me out of the pit, will you? Come on.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
In reverse, right. It's 11:33. By the way, never trust anybody named Al Anus. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We're smoking it today, baby. Had my doubts there in the beginning. After that bizarre debacle on the morning show this morning. Of course, if we were being replaced by Henry Barrow and Roger Magellan, we'd probably try anything desperate too, The QAM van, we had such a big success yesterday. And by the way, boring nephew Chris Reed tells me that most of the people that showed up for the freebies yesterday were Julios. Oh! How do you like that? So you can cower and pretend you're not listening. They're all listening. I've been trying to tell George that for years. They don't listen to you, Jew boy. I said, yeah, they do.
Maricon.
Yeah, Maricon boy. The QM van today will be at the Shell gas station on University Drive and Broward Boulevard in Plantation, right on the northeast corner. Everybody knows that, right next to the vet place I don't go to anymore. Oh, sorry. Get free tickets to the Marlins opening day game this Monday and also Tuesday nights, H&R Block night. See the Florida Marlins take on the Mets and 5-year taxes for free from H&R Block right at the ballpark, right at old PP Park. The nephew and QM van will be out there starting at noon until all those free Marlins tickets are gone for Monday and Tuesday nights. The 2 opening nights of the season, go out there and get them for free, even if Chris is a little on the boring side. He's a good guy. He's boring. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Good. I'm a Jew. I didn't go to the hockey game because I don't have hockey tickets.
All right.
But that's not why I called.
You didn't shine the team just because you were having some dumb Seder in the house eating horseradish.
Neil, the nose is so clear now, though.
That'll do it every time. You're right.
I can smell it from here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand the reason why they did that shtick this morning. Geldy wasn't there. They needed some action. They had to. Why?
Yeah.
That's why.
They should. In fact, that's even more of a condemnation. The fact that he wasn't there, they had a chance to have a real show.
But they missed him.
Yeah, is that it?
That's it.
Well, no wonder Rainier's coming in.
Bye-bye.
Okay, happy daylight savings time. Okay. 5670560. Got a couple open lines there on those outside lines, way there on the outside of the phone thing. I think this phone thing is starting to work a little better today, isn't it? Huh? Or is that just because we're getting a lot of calls?
They still don't roll over.
They don't roll over. No, they're not working the way they ought to. But don't get pushy now, Don't get pushy. Boy, I had a great conversation with my friends from the old sales days last night. Oh, God.
They're on to you, Greg.
They're on to everybody. Here's Jeff Cohen here. Clean-shaven Jeff Cohen. You didn't just shave for the holidays, did you? Look at that. He must have shaved for Pesach. You're still going to burn in hell. We all know that. So you might as well still keep running and hoarding around all over town because you're going to burn hell anyway. So you might as well get all you can while you can. What is that? Self-aggrandizement? Oh, this man, here's the greatest publicity hound in the world. Oh! He's making a fortune because of it, and he's proud of it. Here's a thing in the Davie, Cooper City, extremely local section of the Herald. Want a Seder with more pizzazz? Try Davie Eatery's Italian Fare. And a whole big, here's Jeff. And by the way, I don't want to push you, I don't want to scare anybody. This is only for the media, okay? Jeff doesn't actually touch your food. Those people that get real grossed out by his fingernails and a ponytail and the schmutzy way he looks lately, since he's become a real degenerate hanging around with Al Goldstein, guess what? He doesn't really touch your food. This is just a photo opportunity, okay? Showing him shoveling a matzo pizza into the oven in Davie. What? Yeah, good choice. And by the way, when you hold your hands like that, it looks real, real swishy, okay? Take it from somebody that knows. Take it from somebody that knows what Queen's Day is all about. And I'm not just talking about one day a year in Amsterdam. So here's our matzo pizza and matzo lasagna. I'm ready, baby. Oh! 73 blood sugar this morning, by the way, George. 73 blood sugar this morning. We're very proud. Well, I beg your pardon? Whatever you got. Whatever you got. I'll have a little of this, a little of that. Now, as I recall last year, because it's unleavened bread, it doesn't affect my blood sugar the way the other stuff did. Is that correct? Because I remember last year I did wonders on this stuff. Look at that. See, and I'm going to have to eat this with a fork. I can't pick this up because I'll mung over our crappy old equipment. Thank you, sir. Excellent. Matzo pizza, matzo lasagna from the Pizza Loft. See, you don't have to shine like they did. You should have seen last night. I'm telling you, you would have thought that they said that Adolf was coming with the trains or something. I mean, at the Mac Arena, I was there. There were maybe like 3 other Jews in the whole joint. I want to hear from some other Jews that showed up at the hockey game last night, please. That won't take very long. 5670560. So you don't have to be shut out of the hockey game. You can still go to the Pizza Loft and enjoy the delicious food because it's kosher for Pesach.
Not kosher. Not kosher.
Will you stop? I'm trying to embellish it a little bit. It's okay. I don't mean kosher in the literal sense. It's kosher like in the humorous sense. Well, whatever. In other words, you won't burn in hell. You might go to a purgatory a little while, or you might just wind up doing the limbo rock. Maybe like in the back room with Jeff, depending on what you look like and if you got the right kind of skirt on. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. This is beautiful stuff. I know it's a lot of work to make it, right? Yeah, it's a hassle because I was begging you to please make it all year long, and you said, no, I can't do that. Just for the Jews at Pesach. Here's Dania. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay, sir.
Couple things. I just got back. I was up in Philadelphia for about 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
And you were talking about food, and I'm a gentile.
Well, happy Easter.
And I tell you, the food up there was pretty good. I went to a lot of Jewish delis and whatever, and I couldn't believe it. This guy was sitting beside us, my wife and I. He was about maybe, 99, 100. He was with his daughter, and, man, he was fussing up a storm because when he ordered a sandwich, apparently it came with extra stuff. I don't know, whatever, coleslaw, whatever. And he felt that he didn't want that stuff, so he didn't want to have to pay that extra for that. He thought he should get a discount just for the sandwich.
You should have put him on the bus and brought him down here. He'd fit in like a rubber glove.
The other thing was I couldn't believe all the sports fans up there as far as, like, their basketball team has been losing, their hockey team had struggling, and every other person I saw up there had a Flyers jacket on, had an Eagle sweatshirt on, had every single person. I couldn't believe it.
They can even tell you the names of the players on the team.
It was unbelievable.
They like that.
The other thing, quick, I don't know if I was out, but I read in the paper where the author for the Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon,
right?
He just finished his book. It's coming out June 8th. It's called Hannibal.
Right. Yeah, I read about that, right.
Oh, okay. I was just checking out because when I
the subtitle is...
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Well, I watched it. I couldn't believe it. Up in Philly, a friend of mine had the tape. I hadn't seen it since it came out in the movies. I watched it, and I didn't put two and two together. When I saw that, I fell off the couch.
That'll do it.
I said, hey, Neil, thanks a lot, buddy.
Happy Daylight Savings Time to you.
You too, buddy.
See you. 20 till noon. This is good stuff, by the way, Jeff Cohen. It's great stuff. What is that? That's right. Feed the troops here, okay? We share, okay? We're not a bunch of selfish bastards like some people on the other side of the hall there. Don't drink any more water.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
young man turned 28. He scored the sweetest bag, all gone the next day. It's too many seeds in your dime bag. Getting to the party 2 minutes too late. Isn't it the chronic? Don't you think? It's like praying when your glass on break to breathe out. When you're already baked, the good weed that you just didn't take. Who would have thought you'd get hot brownie that you already ate? A no stone a time, a law that you break. It's like 10,000 joints when all you need is a light. It's like having the feeler of your dreams and then finding out you've got 10 to life. And isn't it the chronic? Don't you think? A little too much chronic. Yeah, I really do think. It's like praying when your glass bong breaks to breathe out. When you're already baked, the good weed that you just didn't take. Who would have thought you'd get?
Jeff Harrison here spreading rumors about former Dolphin players. It's just a joke. Will you lighten up? I'm giving you all this publicity. Look at that. He's spitting his food out of the table now. He's so nervous. Boy, I'm telling you, all the people in this town, I could get, like, maybe the last show that I'm on the air, you know. They'll probably pull the plug on the transmitter the last day, so I'm going to do it unannounced. Unannounced when that last show is going to be. Boy, am I going to have some heavy-duty stuff. There'll be people hopping on planes, emergency. I hope you have an e-ticket and an email. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wire. Still waiting to hear from Jews who were at the hockey game last night. I bet you I was the only one. I'm trying to think if I saw any other people that even looked Jewish at the game last night. I looked across. My friend the Kleinbergs, were they there?
No.
No. Oh, the whole row in front of me, which thank God, except for that one lumberjack that came in standing in front of everybody, they were all gone. Everybody in section 101, 134, nobody, maybe 3 or 4 goyim that usually are there, and everybody else was different. I'll tell you one thing I can guarantee you, the Panthers' record this season against an all-Goyish crowd is 0-1. There's a statistic for you. You won't hear anywhere else on this radio station. Against the all-Goyim crowd, we are 0-1 in front of playing only Goyim. It goes to show you, for a little inspiration, we need a few Jews in the audience. Here's a lady in West Palm. Hello. Lady in West Palm. Oh, boy. Well, why are they still on there? Are we back to that again on this phone system?
Yes.
Oh, God. Long after they hang up, and they're still taking up our precious phone lines. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was in section 134. I'm a Jew. I don't want a yarmulke, and I was there.
All right. Here's one.
I was, well, unfortunately. But, you know, what? I pay my hard-earned money to pay for my own tickets, not out of a corporation, and I want to know when people are going to get pissed. You have an uninspired team. One of our guys gets his head knocked off, and nobody does a damn thing about it.
Right.
Bure gets hurt, nobody does a damn thing about it. A goal's taken away from us last night that was obvious. Murray doesn't do a damn thing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They got no ball.
When's the last time you saw Terry Murray show any real emotion?
I think he's got to go. There's no emotion, no nothing.
I want to say
nothing.
something. I want to say something, and I mean this, even though I like Doug McClain personally. This team is
Get him
6 years.
back.
No, not at all. This team has never had a good coach. 6 years. We had Roger Nielsen, who's a dead man. Just look at the Flyers with all their talent.
I agree.
We had Doug McClain, who's a good guy, but a hard ass. He played favorites to a point where it really hurt the team. Didn't like Marty Straka, who's only got 35 goals and 78 points. And
Exactly.
now we had BM filling in, who was a disaster. And now his brother, who's like a clone, who's like a dead man. He's like Roger Nielsen with better hair.
He's a corpse.
Yep.
I don't understand. Well, one of these days, with the referees coming to South Florida and ruining almost every game I go to.
Did you see the third period where the guys, including Ray Whitney, which I couldn't believe, they were all skating in circles? What was that on a power play? They're skating in big circles in our own end.
Agreed.
What were they doing? Building up some momentum?
He had no defenseman to carry the puck.
Jesus Christ!
Hedican was out.
Yeah.
Okay, Henneken was out. The only one who was trying was Dan
but
Boyle. And they put
Whitney
two guys on.
he's quarterbacked the power play for a long time, and Victor Kozlov, they quarterbacked the. What do you need defensemen for out there?
Well, you got Sales in the coma for the last 2 months.
You got Dan Boyle. This kid's a hell of a goal scorer. He's a great player.
Absolutely.
Well, good luck to us, sir.
Rob Sala can't get out of his coma. I don't understand what his problem is.
And happy Good Friday.
All right, thank you.
And a Zeden Pesach.
All right.
And Astikay Yermidas. Get out of here. 5670560. Wait a minute. You're eating garlic rolls. You can't do that. Oh my God! Oh!
Hoy!
Wow! I'm sitting here talking, doing a radio show, and Jeff Cohen made the bad mistake of sitting in here eating right in front of me across the table. We're having a nice little lunch here. See, I take all the crap. I'm being an observant Jew today. I'm eating no bread, which I don't eat bread anyway, because I can't. I'm eating matzah pizza and matzah lasagna, and this Jew with his long hair and he's got the Star of David on every fingernail today. And he's eating garlic rolls. They are the best in the world, by the way, at the Pizza Law. But
there's something in there about for business purposes.
Yeah, for monkey business, which you should know plenty about, okay? 5670560, pound 560 on the old AT&T wireless line. He's eating garlic rolls, boys and girls.
Hoy!
Jeff Cohen is eating trafe.
Hoy!
He's going straight to hell.
Hoy!
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
I was at the game last night at Section 401 and probably couldn't see me. I'm a Jew.
Here's another Jew. Oh, thank God that I wasn't the only Jew that went there and had my priorities right.
You know what I think we need more than anything is we need more Jews on the team.
Exactly. We got rid of Nemirovsky. Look what happened to us.
Yeah, exactly. I got a good place for you to get some kosher food. The Deli Den in Hollywood. It's a great place.
They love us, by the way.
That's
when
great.
When we were over at Paxton's, they used to send us food all the time.
Great. And I got one more thing. I know Hank's looking for a new place to live. Maybe Sunrise Lakes and Sunrise Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Boy.
Okay, I'll pass it along. Hank wasn't really on that show this morning, was he? Was he really on there? Participating in that fraud? Destroying his credibility? Here's a man, my good friend Hank, who's worked 97 years to build up his credibility, not just here, but all over the country on ESPN in the sports market, and he gets sucked into participating in one of the most bogus, well, anyway. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. He's dipping. He's eating garlic rolls, dripping with garlic, and dipping it into a schmutz in there and eating trafe right here on Pesach. Jesus Christ, even I'm upset about this. I'm so upset I'm going to go home and have a cheeseburger. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Uncle Dale.
Yes, sir.
Section 121 Jew.
Another Jew.
Oh!
Great.
Unbelievable. We can't win a face-off
Yeah.
to save our life.
See, I was thinking we couldn't win an important face-off, but you know something? We can't even win an unimportant face-off.
And how come they never call timeouts after the
They
two
did.
quick goals?
He did call one last night because he wanted to keep the same. We only had 3 or 4 guys that can score, so he wanted to keep the same guys out there for the rest of the power play.
And then everybody left. Everybody left between the second and the third. We were walking around.
Yeah.
And everybody bolted.
Yeah, well, you got to understand, you must have seen as well as I saw that these were not the regular people last night, that nobody, these were just, somebody gave them some tickets. They showed up for a little while. I said, oh, this is pretty boring. Let's go, That was it.
And let's get rid of the Panther Patrol already. After they clean the ice, then the Panther Patrol wrecks the ice.
Yeah, but then the crowd will be down to 3,000 a game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's the only high emotion is the Panther Patrol and when they do the puck shuffle up on the scoreboard. And I asked Rimmer, by the way, about that idiot Bernie Diaz with the bad eyebrows that they put up on the scoreboard between periods. I said, what's with this Bernie Diaz? And Rimmer said, he's an asshole.
And let's get rid of Bill Murphy doing the in-between.
Who?
Bill Murphy from Big 106.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Horrible. The worst.
We could get rid of him.
Got a personality like a dead man, like Chris Reed.
And we want Aaron Burgale back for sure.
Absolutely. Oh, and that broad last night, I'm going to tell you something. Talk about embarrassing. The only emotion I ever saw from
the hands, and what was that about?
No, seriously. The only emotion I ever saw from Terry Murray, when she was in the middle of the national anthem, and I looked down, and even the players were shocked. Terry Murray looks down at her and says, "Look at the tits on that blonde, man." And I just about died. You can hear it all the way up on me.
Her name was Cone.
Huh?
Did you see her name? Her name was Cone. She was a Jew.
Yeah, we had a Jewess singing with a nose, with a Jewish nose.
Unbelievable.
Zygazun, pal.
Taking it.
Easy. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I guess we exhausted all the Jews that were at the game last night. Any interest in that bogus thing this morning?
No.
See, there's no crossover. There's absolutely no cross to bear on this show because there ain't no crossover from that bogus morning show. I would like to find out, and believe me, when I do find out whose brainchild that idea was this morning, I will be the first. I'll hold a press conference to announce it. When I find out who came up with that idiotic idea to destroy whatever little credibility they had left on your Dolphin station. Ah! A little bird just whispered, I can't tell you who, and I wouldn't anyway. I have the answer to who came up with that bogus idea this morning. Ever hear the old expression, fathead?
Uh-huh.
Ring any bells with you?
Yes.
Boy, you talk about pathetic. You talk about tragic. And even after I had agreed with him, a couple of things he said the other day about the quality of health care that some of these players are getting, we have to be suspect and start looking into it because they're not ever coming back. I thought that the little dog was turning the corner. And all of a sudden he took a turn for the worst. Huh? Joe Rose. Joe Rose, number 80, the former tight end with the Miami Dolphins, with your Miami Dolphins this morning, comes on the air and says,
I like the wee-wee.
Yeah. And makes a total clown out of himself, comes up with his cockamamie idea. And, of course, Defoe, being the wimp that he is, who'll go along with just about anything because he's like a feather in the breeze, like a finesse de breeze. You know, he goes along and says, oh, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever you say, Joe, fathead. Joe Rose, a man who we thought was finally making some progress, okay? Let me say it again. If you want to talk to a tight end that really knows how to be a broadcaster, got a sense of humor, I'll tell you one guy. Yeah. He'll be on 5:30 to 7 today because Hank's being Jewish after, after 5:30 comes. What? What are you drooling and burping and puking and what? Must have been good stuff. So go to the Pizza Loft, okay, this weekend, today, tomorrow, and how long do you do this thing, by the way? With the till Passover's over, so we got another week. Till it's over, until he can milk it for all he can get. It's good stuff, though, it really is. 5670560, pound, and he doesn't touch it. Don't forget, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Kiss my rear end.
Eight sounds that you hate, but I'm an idiot, and I think they're really great. I doubt that you can handle one or two, much less all eight. Eight sounds that you hate. The men from the boys, they will surely separate. I'll tell you what they are. Guaranteed you'll go, yeah. I like fingernails on a blackboard. When people crack their necks or their knuckles. When I rub styrofoam together, that just makes me chuckle. Eight sounds you can't stand, which you could tolerate if you were half the man I am. Add to the list of eight, a fork and a knife, scraping on a plate, scraping on a plate, scraping on a plate. Here's one I really love. You might want to try it. Give me feedback in my headphones. Oh yeah, that's more like it. Little more over there, little more. Yeah. Hey, sounds so unique. Now let's review so you can really, really freak. Fingernails on a blackboard. When people crack their neck or their knuckles, rubbing styrofoam together, 'cause it makes me chuckle. I like brand new sneakers on a gym floor, raising an aluminum window when a dentist is drilling my molars. That makes me say bingo. My voice singing on this record. Utensils on fine china. If these sounds give you the shivers, that makes you a whiner. Hey, do you go nuts if someone bites their fork like this? 'cause I love it. Here, I'll do it again. Do you have a nervous system left?
No.
How about the squeegee wiping a window while I crack my neck? Suffer, you wimp! Suffer, wimp! Oh, wait! I got one more!
12:04 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank from where's Hank today, by the way? Today is Thursday. Hank's in the studio till 5:30. I'm sure he'll be apologizing for being sucked into that grotesque thing this morning. That was Joe Rose's idea, by the way. Oh, I should have known. A fathead like him, a dumb ex-jock like him would come up with a bogus stunt like that. Man. And then 5:30 to 7, we got Mad Dog Mandich. Yeah. So when he tells you something, you can take it to the bank and make a deposit. And then we got the Panther pregame. Any interest? Panthers at the Caps tonight. Any interest in that?
No.
I'm sure there's not. And with pretty good reason, too. Embarrassing. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Hi. I don't know if you know, but
I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Beanie Boy, the Pope, who thinks that now he's God or Jesus, wants them to stop the bombing on Easter. Nice.
Say what?
He wants them to stop the bombing on Easter. He's
Who does, your 9-year-old boy or the Pope?
The Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that when he got the murderer off, now he thinks he can do anything, but they're of course not going to.
Mm-hmm.
So
how about we drop a little one on the Vatican too? Just a neutron bomb. We don't want to mess up all that good art, you know.
That would improve. That really would, and kill all his little boy partners. Oh, that's a shame. They're all polluted anyway.
Okay, well, have another one for us. Happy Pesach. She's drinking it. Did you recognize her right off the bat? That's the drunken bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
Did you see the question mark?
Oh, I love her. She's great for, a few laughs for about 30 seconds. 5670560. See, calls like that are fine. We like talking to drunks, cheap drunks. And pound 560 on the mobile one line. What's wrong with that? I like, speaking of cheap drunks. Here, don't take it personally, Jeff, just because it's true. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello? Oh, here's somebody at the gas station. Is that what that is? Mobile in Miami at a Exxon. Going once. Going twice. Hello?
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing? I'm with you in Miami.
Sounds like you're in the middle of pumping it, sir.
No. I was waiting to get online with you. You hit everything right on the nose every time you speak. I was at the Panther game the other night with the Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
I was in section 112.
What a putrid effort that was.
I was in section 112, 4 rows off the ice. Let me tell you, besides the fact that the Panthers can't play hockey, the fans there don't even know a hockey game's going on.
That's right.
It was so quiet when the game started, I thought I was at a funeral. Not one bit of emotion from this is a big rivalry now. They're going for...
Absolutely correct, sir.
That's right.
There was nothing going on. These people did not know a hockey game was going on. They should have been ashamed of themselves. I'm a Ranger fan. I was wearing a Ranger jersey, I was down there. But these fans do not deserve hockey down here. They should just sit home, stay home, and just watch it on TV. It's disgusting.
Okay.
I just wanted to let you know.
And by the way,
you're greatest.
Don't take your personal. Your team sucks too. You do know that.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
I'm not going anywhere near that.
Okay. Happy Purim.
Happy Passover to you too.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Happy Sukkot. Yeah, there was a kid came by last night with a cross on. He says Happy Purim or whatever he said. I should have said, yeah, Happy 4th of Good Friday to you too. All these silly holidays, man. I can't believe all you people that shined us last night. I cannot believe it. I'm serious. I thought there was going to be a point when the lights were never going to come on. I thought they were going to play the game in the dark, which, quite frankly, they might as well have last night. Coach, he's in the dark. We'll see it, Terry. I think it's going to be goodbye to BM and goodbye to TM at the end of this year. Play a lowly team like the freaking Islanders who don't even show up. Let me say it again. They barely even got off the team bus. That's how uninvolved and disinterested they were in the proceedings in the Mac Arena last night. They were just basically saying, here, take all the shots you want, go ahead, have a good time. We don't give a crap. And we did have a lot of shots, but of course most of them not real scoring chances, and many, many of them wide of the net. And we got Victor who wouldn't shoot it if they gave him a goddamn Uzi. And then we let him tie it up thanks to that bad play at center ice by the big black guy named Peter. Nice going there, Peter. And they tie it up, and all of a sudden they said, hey, guess what? These guys want us to have the game. We haven't won it so goddamn long. Let's do it. And they did. Nice going, Terry. Anyway,
Neil Rogers guy.
And now we see the president getting ready to deliver his address. He's in the Oval Office with the gold drapes behind him, and he is preparing to address the American people.
Cue music, please. My fellow Americans, I have deployed our forces to put up a fight in a place called Kosovo, outside of Albania, where all the Macedonians go. Right there in Kosovo, we're gonna blow away Serbian Muslims in the KLA. Sloboda Milosevic is mad because his nickname is Slob. Later of Kosovo, Prikaz and Pochet, Dekani and Glagolhat, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, Herzegovina, Serbia, Pristina, Adriatic Sea is near Kosovo. That's where I told NATO to point our planes and go, annihilating Belgrade and Sarajevo, and Hugo Montenegro.
And may God bless America.
12:14 at 560 WQAM. So, a few minutes ago, evidently, right about the stroke of noon, over the intercom, somebody played yesterday's little song and dance I did hear about this gay club, about the inner circle here.
I think it was earlier than that.
Was it earlier? Oh, good. I hope so. I hope like before some people ran out of here for lunch. Whoever did it, God bless you. Thank you. About the little inner circle of Greg Reed and his personal buddies and all these little ass-looking memos about the employee of the month and who's a good friend and a good person, and we only fired him 25 times, and we kept bringing him back and giving him a promotion and a title every time he came back because nobody else would hire him on a bet. Yep, guess what? We're just here to do a job, Greg. We're not here to schmooze. We're not here to be part of your little inner circle. We're not here to look at the naked pictures. We're not here to hang out with or any of the other folks, okay? We're just here to do a job. I know that's revolutionary. It might actually have something to do with broadcasting, but that's the language we speak. You got it?
No.
Didn't think so. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a lady in West Palm Beach. Hello. Lady in West Palm. Again, 26 minutes, 13 seconds, she's gone. See, these lines don't disconnect like way back. Now we've gone back, what, 15 months?
Time for the same person. There are dodos over there, the same people. They put the phone down, they walk away. They're idiots.
So in other words, you're saying this broad in West Palm is sticking the phone down?
That fucking bitch.
Yeah, maybe she's got it in her
rectum.
Maybe that's the problem. Maybe she's got an inner rear problem. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. We're talking, and did we get, isn't this amazing? Even after all the stuff that we've gone through on this show, this should be a real fly opener for everybody. If you could have seen the hysteria that was going on when I first sat down here this morning and when we came on the air over this Joe Rose prank that they pulled about this make-believe Dolphin trade that all these macho sports faggots got sucked into this morning about trading Richmond Webb and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson and the water boy for the 85th round draft pick or some stupid thing. And I asked, I said, has anybody got anything? Did they think it was funny? Are they pissed off? Did they think it was, have we had one call about that?
No.
No. I'm talking about on the air. We had 72,645 calls we kept track off the air from people going, like that.
Is it true?
Yeah. Every one of them calling and saying,
yeah,
like that. What are you looking for, Brian? What's he, huh? Oh, he's out in the hallway. He's banging somebody in the hall. Not one call did we have on this show about that. Speak now or forever hold your peace, okay? If there's anybody who heard that stuff this morning, because otherwise, I'm convinced there may have been a little crossover like a year ago between the morning show and this one. Now I would say it's the big nun. Nun. Ever see the big nun? Wow. What a habit she's got. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's Miramar. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes.
Neil, I had a true radio accident this morning.
Yeah.
I happened to be tuning over, getting ready for your show, and heard the hysteria. And, I thought at first, this is April Fool's, yada, yada. But when Hank came on.
Hank didn't really come on there, did he?
Hey, Neil.
Did a man with sports credibility like nobody else I know in America who broke the Jimmy Johnson story all over the planet, all over the world, This man came on and participated in a hoax this morning?
Let me tell you.
Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Let me tell you, Neil.
That was funny.
Hank's voice came on and said that he had
Hank's voice?
He confirmed it.
Yeah.
So either A, if they did use his voice, if I
You know
was
who
saying,
this sounds like, George?
I would be pissed.
You know who this sounds like?
Who?
You. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Well, that was one of the, wasn't that? I can't even tell them apart anymore. Maybe it wasn't. If you're not one of those assholes, I apologize, sir. But for somebody to come on here and tell me that Hank would participate, a man, like I said, I know Hank's got a good sense of humor, so do I. That's the only reason we survive in this business. But to participate in such a fraudulent thing, the Dolphins, I mean, next to this show, next to the Neil Rogers show, the Dolphins are the marquee of this radio station. That's what Sam just told me. By the way, how's the nephew doing? We heard from him yet? George?
No.
So he must be doing some business up there at the Shell station. Well, I haven't promoted it again because we've been busy.
Well, he might not be there yet.
It says from noon till whatever.
I don't think...
Oh, he didn't leave soon enough because he was eating the free food. That's right. I saw him in there. Well, maybe the free food will improve his personality. We don't want to hear any more knocks of Chris Reed, okay? We like Chris Reed. There's not too many people in the building we like all that much, but he's one of them. He's a good guy. The fact that he's got a boring, bland personality, he can't help it that he's part of the Reed family, that he's, that he was born into such a dull family.
He's just getting there right now.
He's just getting there right now. So now's a good time. You want those free tickets? Marlins games, Marlins and Mets, H&R Block Night. Then the QAM van, look for it at the Shell station right there at Broward University on the northeast corner. You know where it is. Right across from the convenience store where the plantation cops make the coffee 24 hours a day. And right next to that vet I used to go to until, okay, where's a, mobile in Deerfield Beach? Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, well, I know you didn't, but I was watching your buddy Larry King the other night, and he had on this, the foreign minister, the Yugoslavian foreign minister, and this guy is just too dumb to play dumb. He was
and
talking
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
He was talking about the whole crisis, and he was blaming NATO for committing crimes against humanity by
I know how to do a talk
Serbia.
show.
Yeah.
I mean, what is wrong with these people?
Sir, anybody that's going to knock what is going on over there, anybody that's siding with these scumbag Serbs, as far as I'm concerned, they need to be sent to camp. You were watching these pictures of these tragic, poor people walking with like a blanket or a coat or like little kids with a teddy bear under their arm. That's their whole life. That's all they got left. And, this business, ethnic cleansing, the word is slaughter. They're slaughtering. They're barbarians. They're butchers.
There was more. This guy was also denying that the Serbians...
And what was Larry saying?
Only $50.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, Larry was, ducking anything controversial.
Sucking around, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks
I just
for the
wanted
good
to
news.
tell you that.
Well,
you got it.
Screw him, pal. And happy whatever. Happy whatever you're celebrating.
Bye.
Happy daylight goddamn savings time. I want to hear from some non-observant Jews out there who are sick and tired of all this stuff that their whole lives have to be interrupted. I mean, this is one of those, Hanukkah, Passover, 8-day deal we got here now, Another 8-day deal. Jews know how to do it right. We don't do a holiday for like one day. Most of the holidays, Yom Kippur only one day because who wants to fast for 8 days? But the really good ones, we do multiple days. Jewish women, they don't even do single, much less multiple orgasms, but multiple days for holidays. More days for Jeff to sell that. This is good stuff, by the way. Great stuff.
And all the Goyim.
All the Goyim are loving it too, by the way, in this building. Boy, I wish I could be here tomorrow to see all the people that aren't going to show up for Good Friday. Can't make it, though. Listen, anybody thinks that I should be working on Good Friday? I say screw you, okay?
Catholic like
I'm a good Catholic boy. 5670560. I've been in a Catholic church. In fact, I was working in, what station was it in? WALM in Albion, Michigan, a million years ago, 1973. Yeah, it was 63. No, that was 65. 1965, I worked WALM in Albion, Michigan. And on the weekend, I used to have to go, I'm pretty sure that was the station, go to the Catholic church. We used to carry the church service and set up the equipment there, turn on the amplifiers and, So I used to have to sit there and sit through a Catholic service.
Did you take communion?
And I used to watch them altar boys. And it used to kind of get me...
There's no fact in the church.
Aroused a little bit.
Did you go get on your knees and open your mouth?
No, they were on their knees with their mouth open. Here's a Lady Mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
I love you, Neil.
Of course.
And first thing I want to tell you is I'm Jewish, and I was at the hockey game last night.
Oh,
great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see Chris Wells skating with a tutu on last night?
Mm-hmm. What was he doing out there so much, over and over? It was like Terry Murray was punishing us with him.
Disgusting. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't stand them. But you know what? Another thing.
I don't know about you, but you sound like some stupid, idiotic jerk.
Right.
That's right. Anyway, and the other thing I wanted to tell you is we were so relieved to see you at the hockey game last night.
Why is that?
When we were going there, we passed a really bad car wreck, and there was a Corvette there.
Not mine.
And I know, thank God.
What color was it?
You know, it was pretty dark. It looked like a dark color. We couldn't see for sure. But it was nasty, and it was a pileup. But we were very relieved that you were there.
Where was it?
It was right on it was off of the Oakland Park Sawgrass exit and right around the corner from the entrance to the parking lot to the Sunrise.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Not this kid.
Thank God.
I get there nice and early. I was the only one in there, me and the ushers. There was nobody else in there. It was dark. It was finster.
Yeah, I know. And I had my matzah, and Elijah said it was okay to go. And, we were there.
Okay, great.
And the other thing, too, I heard you say that the Murray brothers are like maybe toast at the end of this year.
No, that's just wishful thinking. I'm just praying.
Man, we got to get rid of them.
During these religious holidays over the weekend, including tomorrow, I'm spending all Good Friday in church tomorrow with my Catholic friends, praying so we can say goodbye to the Murray brothers. I don't want to wish them any ill. Don't go away mad. Just go away, boys.
You got it.
Okay.
And how do you like that Wilson? He got his bell rang, huh?
Oh, that was scary.
That was very
Poor
scary.
Mike Wilson. We just got him. He's a good kid. He's playing good for us. And this kid got hit there. It was a clean hit, but he didn't see it coming. And boy, he went down in a heap. I mean, he got just knocked out cold. And you always just hold your breath when you see that. But he finally got up. He'll be okay. Second degree concussion.
And one last thing I'll leave you with. My husband taped your show every day off the radio, and we have for the last 4 years. And we have all your tapes, and we listen to them in our car whenever we take long trips, and we love you.
Oi! God bless you, sweetheart.
Have a happy Pesach.
Happy Shavuos.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
12:25. Joe Rose was the one that came up with the bonehead idea to take away the credibility from the morning show this morning. And I say okay? Epoxy on you, man. I like Joe. He's a good guy. But, man, this time you went down the wrong road, okay? I think that doctor over there, maybe he's got a point or two about you. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Atarian, even though he's not a brain surgeon, might want to do a little lobotomy on Joe Rose after what I read in the paper this morning. A little exploratory surgery in there to see if there's anything on the inside. Think there is?
No.
No. Come up with some bogus half-ass. And you see, the reason we're not hearing from they're listening, these sports fags, they're listening, but they're too embarrassed because they got sucked in. They got sucked in by the worst team this morning. How do you like that? I bet you they like it. By that Jeff the Florist and the little dog with a big fat head. God. He did wave to me this morning, though. I walked by there in the car. We went to take a leak, and I walked by. Hey, there was Joe on the phone. He was probably cooking up the next phony guest to call in. But please don't tell me that the humper, that my good dear friend Hank Goldberg.
Hey, stupid!
The man, I mean, who is so... This man, and of course he gets stuff wrong. You know, the Will Clark thing was funny. He didn't think so, but it was funny and the reason it was funny was because Hank is the one guy who usually knows his stuff. That's why it was funny, because it was so unusual. But a man who is so meticulous about being on top of the stuff and not being just another BS artist like Barry Jackass and the Morning Guides and all these guys that talk a lot, don't have any sources, don't know what they're talking about. A man who is so scrupulous about his reputation as being the sports maven who can drop more names in a half a minute than you will in a lifetime. And they suck him into participating in this fraud on this goddamn radio station? Huh? 12:27 and 560 WQAM. Great shoes that fit right at great prices. Again, I'm talking to you about Brandy Shoes of Pompano. You know, I'm still walking around with these silly sandals on because of that little tiny boo-boo on my big toe. It's not a big deal. It's healing fine. But when you're diabetic, man, if you wear shoes, and I made a mistake, it's my fault. 2 weekends ago, I put on a pair of shoes, old shoes. They weren't fitting me right. They were like irritating my feet. And the next thing you know, I look at my toe and I got like a bloody toe. I stubbed it and the toe too.
I've been doing this a long time.
Now, here's Larry King.
Rome, Italy for Marilyn Quayle. Hello.
Oh, yes, Larry. I got to say that you look great in that miniskirt and leather bustier.
Thank you.
Are you wearing any underwear?
No.
Well, it's very provocative.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, my God.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
At the zoo. Put a leash on that thing and take it for a walk.
Larry King Live continues, followed by World News after this local commercial break. Next on CNN.
12:32 at 560 WQAM. Couple open lines, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Thanks again to Jeff Cohen for bringing us by a great lunch. How do you like that? Here's the heathens sitting here eating great stuff. Matzah pizza and matzah lasagna. I mean, anybody can sit there eating that crap out of a box, that cardboard with butter and salt on it. I'm doing the good stuff, and these people out there, they're holier than I am, didn't go to the game last night. Nice going. Here's a mobile in Coral Springs. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing here in shame. I was one of the sports morons that fell into Joe Rose's charade.
Uh-huh. Well, I'd like to know where all these other people are that got sucked into that and are pissed off about it, or maybe there might even be somebody out there who thought it was funny, which I did not.
No, but I mean, yeah, it had, questions, and then the hammer came on and confirmed it with his sources.
He really was on it. He made up stories about sources.
He came on and said he spoke to John Clayton from ESPN, who does all their football inside the huddle.
Yeah.
And said that he confirmed the trade. It got a little shaky when they interviewed supposedly Charlie Casserly, the general manager of the Redskins.
Yeah.
That didn't sound, but I fell right into it.
What an embarrassment. What an
It is.
embarrassment.
I mean,
what a joke.
I don't know.
What a joke.
I don't know who's the bigger jerk, me for believing it or Joe for doing it. Pretty much both.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's the ultimate act of desperation. It goes to show that maybe I'm wrong about Gildy. Maybe those two guys can't do the show without him there.
I mean, basically, they're my sports. I mean, that's where I get my sports updates with my work schedule. That's the only people I can listen to. And the station.
I mean, if I tune in tomorrow coming to work, if I work coming or Monday morning, and they tell me that Dan Marino just broke his thumb, I'm not going to believe them.
No. The next time I turn on QAM will not be until 10 o'clock. Thanks, Uncle Neil.
Okay, have a great day, pal. Ooh. Woo! That was a shot. Bad judgment, man. It's, one of those risks you take, but boy, that was, I think, a real bad judgment.
You can kiss my rear end.
Yeah, whatever you say.
What a suck-up job that was.
5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Pompano. Hello. Anybody with a head that big, you think there'd be something inside? Yes, sir.
Hey, I don't like that, man. You don't do that with people's minds, make them think that somebody's going here and someone's going there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff, he must have been born in a trailer park because that's trailer trash mentality.
Right.
For real. I mean,
right.
I don't like it at all. I mean, I'm sure everybody else that I woke up this morning when
sure, are you pissed off? Are you pissed off and fired up about
Very
it?
Very pissed off.
Good.
That's
what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the truth. I don't want people beating around the bush.
Not fair.
Well, I apologize to you, sir. On behalf of this radio station, as marginal as it is, I apologize.
Where's my bumper sticker that says 560 QAM for my car? I want something. Somebody. The station's going crazy. What's up? I mean, come on.
Now you're getting carried away. Get out of here. This guy thinks we're making bumper stickers. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. You'll see the bumper stickers as soon as you see the billboards that say, if you hear it here on QAM, it's a bunch of crap. As you heard this morning, it's a pile of crap manure. Where are we going? What does that mean? What does that mean, waiting? Are you waiting?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
My queen.
Yes?
Yes, I will cross over. I heard it this morning, but I knew it was jive because Richmond Webb ain't worth $5 million a year.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
But anyway, thanks, and it was great.
Okay, I'm glad it was good for you, sir, or ma'am, or it, or whatever it is. I think that was it. I think that might have been the thing junior. That story we were hearing. Oh yeah, we've heard so many good stories the last few days about this place. And then my nice chat I had with good old Trouser Trout, and especially my close friend Linda at the hockey game last night. I love you, Linda. She walked up to me. I was sitting there, and I should have gotten up and given her a kiss or something. And I was just so shocked to see. You know what I mean? Kind of like the day that Crystal thinks I shined her at Borders that day because I was talking to somebody else and she hates me like poison, George's wife.
She does not.
Yes, she does.
She loves you.
No, she does not.
She loves that car.
She hates me. Yeah, she loves the car. Hates me. She thinks I'm a prick.
She knows you're a sweetheart.
No, she doesn't.
You're a butter muffin.
And even little Sabrina there. I mean, I'm talking to some people. I mean, see, you think I'm not a sensitive person, then you're right. I couldn't care less. But it sounds good. See, I want to hear what Tommy has to say. He's probably giving us some good crap. What's Tommy telling us?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Spot stuff.
Yeah, right. Likely story. By the way, it was nice of Fat Boy to come here and tell us that it was Joe Rose that came up with that stupid idea. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, Uncle Neil. Hi, how are you?
Great.
The last time I spoke to you, I was raving about Barcelona, and you were raving about Amsterdam.
Amsterdam?
We're not carrying on the same subject, obviously, that you were just talking
Hey, we're
about.
talking about whatever you want, sir. Don't be bashful.
Yeah.
Whatever you would like to talk about. We don't have to talk about dumb sports crap all day. I hate sports crap.
Okay, I understand.
I'm tired of these sports nerds that have no lives, that don't know what the real world is all about, think that Richmond and his wicked web is important or something. Who cares?
I don't even know who
There's
they
another
are.
goddamn 10-yard holding penalty. Offensive holding, number 78. Oh, I'm so tired of that Richmond. They ought to send him to Richmond.
Well, let me tell you my impressions of Amsterdam.
Yes.
My impressions are it's like a big college town. It's, look, you may have a great time when you go there, but I'll tell you something. I went there for the money, 3 months, took the money, and ran. You stay in that town too long, you'll become a skeleton drug addict.
No, you won't.
Oh, yeah. It's a sick place.
Well, no, it's not. What do you mean you become a skeleton drug addict? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, just, it's not the legal,
sir, I want to tell you,
the legal drugs that are available there. It's the illegal drugs that are available there.
So they're not available here?
No, of course they are.
So how come you're not running down in Overtown buying coke right now, buying crack cocaine? How could you say that? I've been to Amsterdam 50 or 60 times, and I don't do any drugs. I couldn't care less. It offends me that those Sparses come up to me, those Rasta guys, crack, coke. I don't like that.
Oh, no. In Amsterdam, it's very civilized. You have your guy, he comes, he delivers, whatever. It's not like Overtown. It's nothing like that. We're talking here about people who make substantial amounts of money.
I would like, with all due respect, how many times you've been there? That's the only time?
I'm sorry?
That's the only time you've ever been there?
Oh, no, I've been there about 3 or 4 times.
Well, why? If it's so bad, why do you keep going?
Well, usually it's business.
Oh.
Usually it's business. Listen, it's fun to be had there. There's no doubt about it.
Because the overwhelming majority of people I see in Amsterdam aren't doing any drugs. Most of the people that are smoking pot and hash are in the bars and cafes, and the people that are doing the illegal stuff, they're not doing it except for the peddling of it. They're not doing it on the street. So what?
No, they're in private parties.
Well, so what difference is it? Who cares?
Well, I'm just. My impression was that if you stay there for a long period of time, you're really. That's the way I felt.
I could move there tomorrow, from my mouth to God's ears. I could move there tomorrow, and I guarantee you, I would never become skeleton or otherwise. I have no interest in drugs.
You didn't. Well, all right, but you didn't find it that it's a very small town. I mean, it's like, the culture quotient is a scale of 1 to 10. It's about a 2.
That's not true. The culture quotient? There's more culture in the Anne Frank Museum than there is in all of South Florida.
Well.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, pal, I'll see you in Barcelona. Get out of here. Well, what is this guy? If you didn't like it, though, don't go there. That's all. Don't go there. Boy, the culture level. They got museums. They got art. They got the glass-bottom boats so you can see the murky, dirty water in the canals. Whatever you want, they got it there. It's a great place. It's a fun place to go. This guy don't like having fun. He's busy doing his crack cocaine, okay? 20 before 1 at 560 WQAM. We ate at Pizza Loft, so, boy, I'm serious. Am I going to make it till 2 before? Oh, boy. Let's call up Ed Kaplan on the hotline and see what the odds are on that. Know that song, Working My Way Out of You by the Four Seasons?
Well, I talked with ESPN, the magazine's John Clayton, and he confirmed it.
Why are you airing shit like this?
Five hits and I'm weak. It mellows me out for the peace I seek. Like that bong, here I go again. I got the munchies, makes me want to snack, and then I'll lie down, gonna take a nap, and then I'll get up and I'm making tracks. A couple of tokes and the buzz is coming back. Now I get a thrill when I roll that weed. Talk about my favorite Simpson deal, you see.
Okay.
Make some extra cash and I'll sell you a liter too. 'Cause I only roll up on the smoke the best. Boy, I thought I hate to take that urine test. My back porch is worth God only knows where the illegal grass grows. And this good stuff has to be gone,
Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, you can't spend more than 5 seconds in Amsterdam without becoming like a, what was the term he used? A what, drug addict?
Skinny
Atlas drug addict? I mean, how do you spend more than 5 minutes in Miami? If being around a place where drugs are available is what makes you a drug addict, then why do you ever have to leave Miami? Do you have to leave? No. What an idiotic piece of illogic that is. So for whatever reason, I mean, if this guy don't like it there, fine. He's entitled. We can live without him. But I mean, to be reaching for reasons that you don't like a place, that's just astonishing to me. But what do I know? What does a schmuck like me know? I know we got plenty of open lines, and we got an hour and a quarter to kill here. 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Jews have abandoned us because it's more important to potchki around with a matzah and with a horseradish and with a little parsley and the salt water and potchki around with all these things. I'm small potatoes. They can come back to me anytime, and I'll still be here. Right?
No.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I'll tell you what, thanks for being a voice of reason. As far as those two jerks this morning,
yes,
talk about bad taste. I'm goddamn pissed off.
Good.
This whole community, we're not even over what that pop face did to us, and they do something like this. What a bunch of jerks.
God damn it. Right.
Well, no, I'm really surprised that Hank took a hand in this.
Yeah.
I will never turn on that radio station.
We just got that tape there and just played it, but even that had to be bogus. Somebody must have been doing Hank's voice. There's no way that a man who cares about integrity and credibility and being on top of the sports world, which I know is one of the most important things to Hank, there's no way a guy like that participates in a bogus, dumb April Fool stunt like that.
Hey, listen, I want to thank Joe and Devo for making my 13-year-old son cry.
Okay.
Bunch of jerks.
Okay, God bless you, sir. And the guy that lost the $300? Sounds like good fodder for a bunch of lawsuits. By the way, Joe Rose, that's the guy you want to be suing. Okay, well, he was the one. He was the root of all evil this morning. That's what happens when you put a bunch of thick-headed jocks with a big, big skull on. Put them on the air. And we were going to pay Warren Spomarty $80,000 a year to come on and do a pregame show and talk Bubanese before ball games that nobody listens to anyway. Maybe he's joining the inner circle, Warren Spomarty, for all we know. Maybe he's real tight with Screw Ann and some of those other folks in the back there on the other side of the building. I think it's really interesting that if you could see the way we are up here, now that we're all on the third floor, but there is definitely a great divide between the QAM studios, including this one, all on the one side of a certain wall, and then all those people. Not everybody over there is part of that group, but
all of these things
are over on the other side. The water Nazi, the big shot, the big cheese with the bad haircut, all those people. Screw Ann.
Oh, so I was speaking to the person in question who actually has the Snickers bars.
Yes.
About that story.
Yes.
To confirm it, she apparently had no idea how
that
expensive it was because he's going in there while she's gone with his key.
Jeff High.
Right.
Fat boy. We don't want to tell this story on here while his son, who's a nice kid, by the way, is in town from school that he brought in here this morning. I know we don't want to talk about that. I know because Jeff, unfortunately, when mommy and daddy eat a lot, then the kids tend to eat a lot too, And it's very, it's sad. But his kid seems like a nice kid. So I sure hope that he isn't here that daddy is so compulsive with his eating that he's swiping Snickers bars out of the sales office and using his pass key to smuggle his way in there to steal the Power. And it's not even a QAM thing. He don't work for Power 96. He's going over there and stealing Power 96 Snickers bars. Huh? I'm sniggering just thinking about it. Don't get excited where I said sniggering. Here's a mobile in Pompano Beach. Hello.
I figured you could get that dentist to go to that Joe Rose, take that quarter-inch gap tooth they stuck in there, stick it right up his, what?
Rectum.
Yeah.
I'm fired up.
All right.
And I tell you, that was Hank.
No.
And I tell you another thing about your buddy Hank.
Yeah.
He talked about him at the Hialeah horse track, and he'll never go back there.
Yeah.
The reason is because he cut in front of line at about 1 minute to post, and they
Yeah.
want to get his fat ass out of there. Woo!
Hey, stupid!
Open line, two of them, 5670560, pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Of course, Duff's out of town. This place would be under control if we had our program director here to keep everybody in line. But he goes out of town for a few days, and everybody's going nuts. By the way, does Duff know I'm not going to be here tomorrow? Sam will tell him.
Better call him.
What is it? Yeah, better call him up and let him know. Sam will tell him. See, oh, and by the way, do you remember, I forgot to mention this on the air. Remember I talked a couple of days ago and I did not make it up about how we got billed for DirecTV for like $83 because the bill they thought was past due? Well, it comes to find out, amazingly enough, because this place, if they ever do pay a bill, it's a miracle. So it's like a Boy Who Cried Wolf story when they do pay one. But evidently there was confusion because your name and my name was on the one bill and then they had the station. But they had evidently paid it a couple of months ago. So guess who came in Monday to tell us the real story on that? Sam. You see, because that was the day that Greg was homesick, you know, after I called him on Friday here about the phones and he had to go home with a bad headache and his mono finally kicked in because he couldn't deal with me face to face. Sam the Sham. So in other words, when Duff is gone and Greg is gone, Sam is the general manager. Are you ready for that? Yeah, Sam the Sham runs the place.
You just figured that out?
No. But I never had the peckering order in line like that. But he's like the third pecker.
The nephew would like another plug, please.
Why, he's not getting business?
No, there's no Julios over there, apparently.
So he's not giving away Marlin tickets? I can't believe it.
Nobody's there.
Free tickets to the Marlins opening day game on Monday and Tuesday night, H&R Block night. See the Marlins and the Mets. File your taxes free from H&R Block at the ballpark if you like while you're there, because H&R Block will be doing that. And Chris Reed has got the WQAM fan out there at the Shell gas station, University in Broward, Northeast Corner Plantation, with free Marlins tickets, and nobody wants them, for crying out loud, because there's no spics up there. What's wrong with you people up there in my neck of the woods in Plantation? Then I did it yesterday, boy, down there in Julio Land in Dade County, and they snapped him up. He was gone in 20 minutes. Got to do a second plug on this today, and that was always a big location for us up there.
And
what?
They have the new QAM bumper stickers there, too.
Yeah, right.
They do.
Well, is this another April Fool's joke?
You didn't see those?
No.
They're plastic.
Well, how big are they? Size of my
bumper
penis?
sticker size. They say WQAM Sports Radio. They don't mention you or anything.
Well, wait a minute. WQAM Sports Radio doesn't mention Neil Rogers? Do they have anything that mentions Neil Rogers?
No.
No. Anything that mentions that there's an entertaining show with big ratings on this station?
No.
Oh. Oh, there's one. They suck. They suck, Sam. Sports radio. That sucks. That blows. Look at the look on his face. And he thinks we're going to believe he's serious. Like, what difference does it make what we think? We don't count. Do they consult with us about any of these things?
No.
We don't even, like I said, we're a non-show anyway. We don't exist here. We're just here to make all the money so they can pay Wayne. That's why we're here. They finally got bumper stickers. Are they bumper stickers that have anything to do? I mean, could they have somehow incorporated us into that?
No.
That's all right. We'll scrape by anyhow, Sam. Don't worry about us. Must have been Sam came up with that idea and probably pushed it through, too. He's in charge now. No Greg, no Duff, no Screw-Ann. Here's a mobile in Fort Myers. Hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, those people who call all those sports shows, they need to get a life.
That's right. Exactly right. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I've often heard you say that whole mentality is just unbelievable to me. But the main reason I'm calling is we have a reason now to turn on the radio first thing in the morning over here.
Yes.
Bob and Tom's first day in the air.
On what station?
94.5.
All right. Aren't they great?
They are fabulous. I heard them up in Indianapolis when I was up there a couple years ago. But, they sound great.
One of the all-time great morning shows in America, Bob and Tom. You got it.
Yes, sir. Now we got a little competition for Howard over here. They absolutely blow Howard away.
No question. Not even close. No contest.
Yes, sir. So I just wanted to call and let you know that.
Congratulations, sir.
Have a good one, yeah.
And happy daylight savings time.
You too.
Bye. Okay, so anyway, I mentioned the nephew was out there at the Shell Station, University in Broward. See, nobody wants the Marlin tickets. We tried giving my personal pair away yesterday. We had a drawing, and we had like 5 people that wanted in the drawing. We took names for like an hour and a half, and only five people wanted to be on the list for the drawing. They don't want them. I don't want to make John Henry feel bad, unless I have to. But, hey, guess what, John? And let me say it again. Mad Dog, you're absolutely wrong. You're a great guy. I respect your talent more than anybody in the world. You're hysterical. You're a panic. But, oh, and by the way, I noticed how he's backtracking. After Michigan made that great comeback and won the bowl game, and he was going on about, oh, Tommy Brady, they finally found a quarterback. This kid is for real. Now he's talking about Michigan quarterbacks, and he's like, he finally admits Tommy Brady was too pretty to be on the quarterback at Michigan. You don't like that. The real macho sports guys, they don't like pretty boys being quarterbacks like Tommy Brady. That's all right.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
Wow, your fat ass is really comfortable. Wow, your fat ass is doing wonders for my bad back.
Want to do something useful with your fat ass?
I could sleep on your fat ass all day.
Then why not put it to use?
Hey, you don't mind if my girlfriend sits on your fat ass too, do you?
As one of America's newest ass cushions, put your fat ass to use for the airlines and turn a coach seat into comfort class.
This is great.
By letting people sit on your fat ass, you'll be helping to improve people's days. On the bus, at the movie theater, even at the park.
Mommy, come bounce on this fat ass with me.
Put your fat ass to work today. Receive hourly wages, health benefits, and ho-hos. Call now and be proud to be a fat ass.
Okay, it's 101 at 560 WQAM. Don't forget.
Pissed off gets me fired up when I hear someone
Got
say
the whole
that.
audience in a frenzy. Got some good faxes, by the way. Here's one that says to Jeff Rose and Jeff DeFlorist. Phil Hendrie doesn't work in this market anymore. You don't have the talent to do this.
Okay.
That's what it says. Also, here's one from Carolyn who says, yes, the old Hankster called in and said he would check with ESPN News and confirm the story and so on. So embarrassed she was sucked in. And so are we, Carolyn. We're embarrassed that it took place on this otherwise marginal radio station. We're highly embarrassed and humiliated and degraded and desperate. Must be desperate in that morning show.
Chris is gone.
So, in other words, he gave away the tickets. See, we know, Chris, that you're just sucking around trying to make us feel bad. We know that. Just because we said you were boring. You are boring. You're a good guy. See, some people, they never get enough. You're a good guy. Everybody here likes you. You're a great guy, but you're boring. You want us also to say you look great and you're, like, exciting? Huh?
But he knows that.
Right. So don't take it out on me. Just because your buddy Sam is in there pouting now because of those really unbelievably ugly and unimaginative bumper stickers. I mean, it takes quite a promotion department to come up with everything for this place looks exactly the same. The same blue background with ugly yellow letters. That's it. Nothing imaginative. Nobody's names, of course, God forbid. I mean, at least put the inner circle on there. Put Gary Sarner, Screw Ann, Little Water Nazi, Greg Reed. Put the inner circle on there. The nephew, Sam. Somebody, something. Beside that same ugly, meaningless nothing. Okay, we got 56 minutes to go here. We got 1,600 open lines. 5670560. Oh, yeah, we did have the one call on Pasadiki candy. Thank you, sweetheart. The one nice Jewish lady called to explain that to us about the corn syrup. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello? Mobile in Miami. Going once. Why is it? Maybe it's that line 4. Could it be line 4? No, then the line. It always seems to happen on that line. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir?
Hey, about that episode this morning.
Yes.
Being aware that it's April 1st, April Fool's Day, I figured those first team would try something, and it was a joke. As soon as they said it, I knew it was a bunch of bull. But when Shank Goldberg was on there to verify that, that's when I was telling my friend, I said, if Hank doesn't come on to tell his story, you know this is a bunch of bull. And sure enough, when he came on, we all had it. We all were hooked, basically, because he confirmed it. And you thought that, the credibility that he has, which is he really is the only guy.
I said, that's the reason, because Hank is the only one of that whole bunch that's got any credibility, and for him to be willing to lower himself to that level because those guys are so desperate and join in on that facade, it ain't good, man.
It's unacceptable, and I'll tell you what, when the respect for Hank has definitely dropped, not just by me, but generally public that listen to that, listen to him and thinking, he usually has the right stories that gets him quick. What the heck was he doing getting in the middle of that charade?
Right.
And I think you're right. It just
bad judgment this time. Sometimes we make good judgments, sometimes we make bad ones, but that was a bad mistake, Humper.
Yeah, and this is to you, George. Back at you.
Okay. What?
It was Shoe Steve.
Oh.
And he confirmed it.
5670560, pound 560. Yeah, Shoe Steve calling in about Hank's credibility. Yeah. You're a good one. You don't even have credibility as a human being, Shoe Steve. What am I looking for? Oh, I know what I'm looking for. This is the wrong thing, too.
It's in the thing.
What is?
Whatever you're looking for.
It's in the thing?
And you've been to several places for spring training, I know, but I remember, I go back a long way to when the Yankees first came down here, and they had trained all those years in St. Petersburg, and what a culture shock it was for them to leave St. Petersburg and come to Fort Lauderdale with it, which at that time was where spring break was happening, in St. Petersburg. It was happening there, Will, because you've been to spring training in that city. There was nothing there, right?
Well, I was in Port Charlotte for 5 years.
When you were with did you ever go to St. Petersburg?
Nope.
For spring training? Never did?
Nope. 9 years before that, I was in Arizona.
Yeah. Right, with the Giants.
Yep.
Hey, how is it coming over to the American League? You looking forward to it?
I've been in the American League for 5 years now.
Yeah.
So I'm not unfamiliar with it. I'm looking forward to just starting with a new season.
That was fun. Hey, it's been a stressful week, Frank. He'll be here in the studio in the building, so maybe he'll stop in for a minute and explain to us that it was somebody doing a voice. Hey, he would never. I know Hank too many years, and one thing I know about him, his credibility on the sports stuff is like, that's it. That's the most important thing in the world to him. He would never participate in some childish, idiotic prank just to boost up the ego of Fathead there in the morning. So the deal is, by the way, they won't let Chris Reed out of the parking lot there at the Shell station because they know he's holding back all those other Marlin tickets. Don't let him out of there, guys. He's got them. He showed me he had like 600 pair before he left here, okay? Don't let him make up stories, okay, that he's waiting for Cubans or whatever, or that Sam told him he could only give away so many. You make sure you get your tickets before you leave that parking lot. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was at Fairchild Tropical Gardens on Tuesday,
Yeah.
and I was walking. Have you been there?
No. This sounds like the guy that makes up all the silly stories, yeah?
Well,
yes. Okay, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. See, it only took me about, 8 months. Is that all it took? Just to be absolutely sure? You with all your little silly stories? Probably some old gray-haired lady with a fish food up her ass, huh? Is that what you ran into at whatever it was? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
God, those guys are boring, those three little Julios. They are so boring. Yes, sir.
First time, long time.
All right.
Just wanted to let you know about half a minute after you mentioned that Chris was at the gas station in the Shell.
Yeah.
About 10 cars pulled in, and he was wondering where the hell everybody was coming from. I didn't think he was listening to your show, but I want to thank you. I got one of these ugly bumper stickers.
Right. Now wait a minute. Wouldn't you agree with me that those are the most unimaginative, boring, bland bumper stickers? Not that I want to put words in your mouth, but isn't it pretty boring?
Boring as hell. I'm not going to put this on my car.
Well, what does it say? It says 560 Sports. There it is. Sports Radio 560 WQAM. The same boring logo that we got on everything that this station has got, which isn't much. I mean, instead of coming up with something innovative or neat, that might say the worst team and Neil and Hank or, something, just the same bland, boring crap.
I agree.
That's Sam, man. He was starting to move up in my eyes, and now he's just dropped 20 notches.
Yeah, can I call two people douchebags?
Yes, sir.
Lou, Raleigh, you guys are douchebags.
All right. See you, pal. See, there was a million people over there, and Sam, Sam heard me knock the bumper stickers, so right away called Chris on the shortwave or whatever. Yeah, look at that. That is the crappiest looking thing. Maybe we have to pencil our names in on there. Yeah, get a magic marker and put Neil Rogers Show 10 to 2, Hank Goldberg 2 to 6, The Embarrassing Show 6 to 10 in the morning. The old fathead. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Hey Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, I was over there at that Shell station.
Yeah.
I got a couple tickets. Wanted to say thanks. I got a beautiful bumper sticker here with no imagination put into it at all. And on University and about 5th Street in front of the mall there's about 5 plantation cops with the radar gun going. But just called to say thanks.
Probably a combination Passover and a Good Friday greeting for it from our plantation porkers.
They're keeping all the Cubans away from that Shell station. That's what they're doing.
Like I said, good thinking. Okay, have a great day, pal.
Thanks.
Okay. We don't want, we have a few Julios sneaked into the plantation. Most of them are out there at the Sawgrass, and they're not Cuban. They're from Brazil, they're from Argentina, they're from Paraguay, they're from Peru, they're from Hungary. They're from everywhere. Who are those people at the Sawgrass? Does anybody know?
No.
Does anybody in the world
know
who those people are? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I got a fax here. It says that wasn't really Hank. That was somebody doing Hank's voice. They've been working on this all morning long, and they're trying to make him look bad, and they're trying to make Fathead look good, and et cetera. And Defoe, being the wimp that he is, he just sat back and let Joe Rose run the whole deal this morning.
Well, I talked with ESPN, the magazine's John Clayton, and he confirmed it.
That don't sound like Hank to me.
I'm gonna bang you in the butt, honey.
All right, honey baby, get ready because you're about to be taken to heaven by your favorite lover boy.
Oh, no, I'm not.
What do you mean? Why not?
You've got dandruff.
I do not. Look, clean.
Not there.
Where?
Your ass.
Not ass dandruff again. Damn hairy ass.
That's what you get for using regular ass shampoo. A crack full of soot and another night alone.
What do I do?
Try Ass and Crack from the makers of Head & Shoulders. Ass and Crack is the miracle cure you've been looking for. Quick and easy. Wash, wipe your hand, then go.
Wow, your ass dandruff is gone. And it smells great, too.
Thanks, Ass and Crack.
Ass and Crack can be found in the embarrassing aisle of your local supermarket.
Thank you. 115 at 560 WQAM. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was trying to get information about somebody told me about a trade that the Dolphins made today with the Redskins.
Yeah, they traded Dan Marino for a 10th round draft pick, right?
Well, that's the April Fool's.
What is it?
That's the April Fool's joke.
No, they traded Dan Marino for a 16th round draft pick.
That's what you just said, 10th.
What? 25th round draft pick. Here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes,
You are
sir.
God.
Yes, I am.
A very belated congratulations on hanging out in this toilet for all the years you have. I don't know how the hell you
23
do
years
it.
plus, pal. 23 years and
Tell
a
you
month.
what, it's ridiculous. I listen to you every day. I missed what happened this morning. You know, whatever. But
Well,
I
let me give you a capsule version, okay?
If you don't mind.
Joe Rose, thinking that he was going to be a real comic, which he's not, about as funny as a heart attack, he decided that it was April Fool's Day, so they'd come on here and make up this bogus Dolphin trade where they traded Richmond Webb, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, both of them to the Redskins for the number 5, their first draft pick, which is number 5 in the first round. And they're going on and conjecturing, will it be a running back? Maybe it's going to be Edgerrin James and yada yada. And then they got people doing fake voices, pretending to call the Redskins office and doing a fake voice from the Redskins owner. And then even they had Hank or somebody impersonating Hank calling in on the air saying, oh yeah, he talked to so-and-so at ESPN who just confirmed it. It's a done deal and yada yada.
You know, I don't even listen to those guys, and that just substantiates it more. You know, I listen to some other asshole on some other station that rips all your material off.
Not
you know who I'm talking. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's so comical what he does. Really, one of the reasons I called, I'm getting out of this toilet for a few days. I'm going to Pittsburgh, which is not much better, but it's my hometown.
Yeah.
And I've been listening to you for about 4 years, and I just wish all the listeners that are out there would just listen to what you're saying.
Right.
Make decisions based on facts.
Right.
Not a bunch of crap. Not, you know, the whole religious thing is ridiculous. But you've enlightened me, and all I can say is thanks for everything.
And
Take care of me.
speaking of Pittsburgh, even Mike Lane says I know my crap.
That's right. Well, I got a fly coach, and that I got my Valiums.
Okay.
Take care, Neil.
Good luck, pal.
Bye-bye.
Don't take any wooden lunch. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. All this enthusiasm and excitement about the fact that the Panther organization once again has lied through their teeth, and now everybody's paying a price for it, and everybody's threatening this one and that one, and the doctor's all upset, and yada yada yada. See, when you're not straight shooters, when you don't play straight with the public, sooner or later you're going to box yourself into a corner, and no matter what you say, it's boy who cried wolf syndrome. It's kind of like a Greg Reed thing. No matter what you say, nobody's going to believe it anymore. No matter what you say, just like, oh, we paid that bill. Oh, yeah, right. We believe you paid a bill. And that's what the organization has done. And let me say, what? What?
The prank that you just played on that caller, now they're calling because they're taking that seriously over and over and over again.
What do you mean they're taking it seriously? It just came to me on the fax here. Here it is.
Well, I talked with ESPN, the magazine's John Clayton, and he confirmed it.
Yeah, Dan Marino goes from the Dolphins to the Redskins for their number 1 draft pick, which is the 5th pick in the first round. What? I was just about to say something important, and that's a given. Everybody knows that. We knew he was getting old. He's got bad wheels. It's going to be like a Pavel Bure thing. You trade a guy with bad knees away, and then they're going to, think they're getting a jackpot, and they're going to get a crackpot. We love you, Danny, but time is up. Time's up, sweetheart. I said, all those old creaky knees of yours, you've had it. I was just about to say something very important there, and you give me sidetracked with some jackasses calling in. Don't believe that Dan Marino got traded. You know what, I think, if we really want to get this town going, because it's such a dead-ass place anyway, let's do that. Nobody cares about credibility in this town. I came on here, I told you weeks ago that after Bure got injured in the Colorado game, everybody in North America, except in this town, was reporting he's out for the year. I told you that. Nobody told me that. I read about it. I got on the internet. I talked to people from outside this town who like know hockey in other parts of the country, in Canada. I read it up there in the Toronto Sun on one of my many trips. Everybody except here knew it, but nobody cares for that. They enjoy bullcrap, so let's just, we can make a whole format out of that. Because in many ways we've already accomplished it, especially with our management here. We'll just call it bull crap radio. 24 hours a day we'll feed you a pile of bull crap. Yeah. We'll make up stories, we'll make up trades. Oh my God, Jimmy Johnson just resigned. They're bringing Shula back. Oh! Yeah. Jim Mandich just had a baby, not his wife, the Mad Dog. All right. He had a baby. Anything else we can tell you that some jackass out there might believe, huh? Oh, but I heard it on the radio. See, that's the problem with those sports fags, is they're so naive and so stupid that if they do hear it on the radio, they will believe it. They could come on a morning show tomorrow and say, oh, it was just an April Fool. Oh, but guess what? Here's another report. They just traded Richmond Webb to the Redskins, to the Rams, rather, for somebody else. Or they just signed up Lawrence Phillips and, what's his name? Sammy Smith again. Bobby Humphrey. And Tony Martin. We're going to have the all-gangster team. Here's and Mark Duper.
Neil, the
Yes,
worst
sir.
part about this.
The worst part about this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's is that they're ripping off a caller from last year.
Yeah.
Do you remember that on April 1st last year?
No.
When the caller called in.
Probably one of those many days I wasn't listening to their show.
No, a caller called in last year and totally duped. I don't remember which Josh it was, but then he got one of the guys on air to report. There was the whole story about the Marlins being sold. And this guy was able, he happens to be a friend of mine that was able to pull this off, was able to get your backline number from your switchboard, and he called up and he...
What did that guy say? I think he said F something. But that was probably the guy that called impersonated Hank this morning, his friend that does the voices. I've known Hank for like 20-some years, okay? Believe me, that was not Hank Goldberg's voice. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil. The only time I listen to the Witless team is during commercial breaks.
Yeah.
So I
well,
caught
you
him.
should be listening a lot then.
Yeah. Well, I caught him twice. The first time I tuned it in, some jackass asked Joe Rose to play the Marlins song, so I was on it for about a second. And then the second time I tuned in, I hear Joe Rose going on about this trade, and I mean, right away you can tell in the goofball's tone that it's all, BS.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't hear Hank call in. But if Hank did, being that it's Easter and all, before the cock crows 3 times, Hank ought to call up and deny it and then go hang himself.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if Hank played along with that thing, I mean,
You're saying if Hank called in that he should go hang himself?
Absolutely.
Well, when he comes in, he'll be in very shortly. We'll find out if he's hung or not, which I don't really care, but no old Jewish guy like Hank and me that are this fat, nobody's hung. And if you were, you couldn't tell anyway. As in that, remember that movie like Kaja Fools? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. They're all taking this very serious, okay? They're taking this very serious. Remember when Santino was talking to Michael there in The Godfather 1? You're taking it personal. This is business, and you're just taking it personal. No, it is business. I can't wait. There must be 64,285 lines just from Godfather 1 alone. And by the way, I know there's a lot of little kids up there in the crowd at the Mac Arena. But if you're going to keep showing that Howard Beale thing there, which they do all over the NHL now by a lot of the arenas, you're going to show the first part. Show the rest of it.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh! We want to see the whole thing, okay? Not just Howard in a raincoat. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's North Miami. Hello. North Miami.
Yeah, well, Neil,
Yes, sir.
the worst Oscar for worst acting job during April Fool's has got to go to the first team.
Yeah.
Joe was, I mean, you could hear, it's the worst.
How was it?
He's in the bag, and of course, Defoe is like, whoa.
We could suck up to him and be real nice to him and kiss his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that guy lost the $300 was an obvious plan just to try to make them look good, like they were clever.
Yeah.
And I've never seen two dorks congratulating themselves on how clever they are since I saw the movie Dumb and Dumber. That's all I got to say.
Well, in fact, they were in it. You didn't know it, but they didn't get the credits. They were in it.
All right, thanks.
In other words, what he's trying to say is one good fat head deserves another, Joe. Your mama. That's what the audience basically is saying to the morning team. Your mama, okay? Don't do it again. They may forgive you this time. Maybe they'll come back again tomorrow for some more. I know I'm taking the day off tomorrow. I'm so embarrassed about it. I'm going to have to think about it long and hard over the weekend if I want to follow that show or not. And then I'll kind of look at my pay stub and I say, yeah, I guess I'll swallow my pride. Here's a medley. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Let me tell you, the first team
Tell me.
sucks.
Yeah.
I can't stand him. Joe Rose with his idiotic lines and Jeff DeForest with his corn lines. Can't take him.
I dumped the bitch right now.
No, not me. I want to hear what everything he's got to say.
Let me tell you the reason I called.
Yeah.
I'm moving to Idaho to Harvard.
Boring. Boring. Every time you say it, it's boring, and have a nice life. And your boyfriends, too, your mama. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, I'm worn out. And I had nothing to do with that. Like Larry would say, I had nothing to do with this. I came in here today full of stuff about the doctor and the Cleveland Clinic and Pavel Bure and that horrible game last night and the red light that still doesn't go on that nobody cares about and the Jews not showing up last night for Pesach and all those goyim standing up in front of us during the game. I mean, if you really wanted to see what this town is all about, you really had to be there early at the Mac Arena last night and look around and wonder, huh? Like, where is it? I thought maybe the game was going to be played up there on the island or something. I thought, is this a road game or something? Did I make a mistake? What's going on over here? And then all these strangers started showing up, people we've never seen before. Hey, you want to get yourself a great cigar? Well, do it today because I got news for it. Tomorrow for Easter, for Good Friday, and for Pesach, Nick's is going to be closed. So over the weekend, certainly for the holidays, is it okay to smoke stogie on Pesach?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? As long as there's no bread in it. As long as it's unleavened tobacco. And believe me, I guarantee you, all the tobacco they use to make those great premium quality cigars at Nick's, unleavened, baby. Make no mistake about it.
Oh! I know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
Oi!
They asked me how I knew that Neil was a Jew. Oy vey, I just smile and say, yes, you may be gay, but he's different in one way. Look, on his head you'll find a spot of the Hasidic kind. Oy vey, when you sit on his throne and looks at empty phones, there's a yarmulke on his dome. Oy vey.
Are you doing artwork on those beautiful new bumper stickers of ours or what? What are you doing in there? George has done a little paste and clip and snip and whatever and tape. Oh, look at, isn't that oh, I love it. That's the best. Instead of where it says sports radio on the bumper sticker, he's changed it and it says fag radio, 560 WQAM, and inside the 6, the O, and the Q, and the A is a little picture of me with a stogie in my puss. All fag radio, 560 QAM. Oh! There he is, right there in the inside of the thing. You know, Sam, I'm going to tell you, with your imagination, with your tremendous ability to come up with all these phenomenal concepts, it's a wonder that we're still on the air. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering if you saw the Sun Sentinel, the article that Jeb Bush signed about the...
No.
Okay. Well, what it said was any crime that's being committed with a gun, a felony crime, is going to get a minimum of 10 years, and if the gun is shot, it's going to be a minimum of 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, there's an 11-member black caucus that decided that this would be unfair to the African American community.
And why is that?
That's what I want to know. Why is
well, how about if we make it that when white people commit those crimes, they get 12 or 20, whatever you said, and when darker people commit the crime, depending on the shade, in other words, the darker you are, the less time you'll do.
Right.
In other words, we'll do it by shade.
Exactly.
In fact, even if you're a white guy with a good 10, then you also get a few years knocked off.
You'll get at least 7 then.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's all I have, Neil.
Figures. Okay, thank you. There you go again. See, discriminating again against the, You know something? If you're a gangster, if you're a criminal, we don't like you, okay? We don't care if you're white, you're black, you're a spick, you're a Jew, you're a fag. We don't care what you are. If you're a piece of slime, we don't like you, period. And we're going to throw the book at you. Everything is a big racial thing. Like I said the other day, the most sensible thing I ever said in my life, get rid of these labels for Christ's sakes. Boy, all of a sudden, wow, my ear just plugged up. Woo! Must have been from that matzah. Huh? No, I'm serious. It's good. But it's still maybe unleavened bread, but it's still carbohydrates. I bet you when I go home, my blood sugar, which was 73 this morning, I bet you I can't eat that stuff. I can't eat it. Why did you let me do that? It was your idea. Wasn't it? No, why did you let me eat that? You're supposed to be, at least during these hours, watching out for my health here. You know, I've been sick as a dog. I've been sitting here, sitting on my organ, squeezing my organ. In this awful goddamn chair. I mean, the chair was great downstairs. There's nothing wrong with the chair. It's this counter. Let's have a little mutiny on the counter for Christ. The counter is too frickin' high, man. It's too high. Like a little tiny 5-year-old. It's like young Neil in the high chair sitting up here on a chair to the ceiling to try to avoid my breastbone and my pupik jamming onto this counter that's too goddamn high. Counter's supposed to be a little bit lower, just above your. That's right. Got plenty of room there. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing?
Great.
I'm a construction worker.
Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay, there we go with that sound again. Can't talk. Sorry, sir. Sorry. Another screwed up phone line. Mark it down, okay? Phone company is farting around with our phone lines again. I mean, you know, you can suggest to yourself, Mr. Reed, that I'm making this up and I'm a bad guy because I haven't been hired here 17 times like your good buddy Gary Sarner. But the fact is, we got a bunch of garbage in here that some of it works. You know, it's a little bit better today. I'll give you that. We got a long way to go. The same man that looked me in the face at a hockey game a year and a half ago and said to me, oh, yeah, we're going to build you state-of-the-art studios. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to go 50,000 watts. We're going to be like, yeah. We're going to even put some baseboard down on the walls out there so it doesn't look like a schmutzy place where a bunch of stumblebums are living, like the Beasleys. I got news for you. If the Beasleys haven't been over here recently to see the work of art that they produced, you'd be really proud, okay, because it's right up your alley. It's a toilet. Here's a mobile in North Miami. Hello. Mobile in North Miami. See, and that's that. See, I'm not losing the calls. You're wrong. Line 4 is screwed up, and line 1 we just heard there is all the phones. There they go again. There they go again. Thank God it's almost 2 o'clock. And see, the reason that it's different in here from the other room is because this is a different studio. This phone thing is wired entirely independent and different from the other, and it's screwed up. And maybe if we go through this another 200-300 times, they'll have the phone company come in and do this and stay here until it's done right. I know that's asking a lot, but make them come in here and do it until it's done right, and the phone really works, like honest to God. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Oh, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I don't understand. I mean, I didn't hear it this morning, but Phil Hendrie was goofing on people like that for years.
Yeah, but that's Phil Hendrie. Phil, huh? That was Phil's shtick. That was his act. Phil was a comedy show. These guys are supposed to be a sports show.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, you get goofed on, you get goofed on. I mean, either way, you're still goofed on. And I thought Phil was hilarious. I thought his stuff was really funny.
Sir, let me say it again. I don't know what you didn't understand that I just said. Maybe I'm not communicating. That was Phil's show. Everybody with a brain knew that. That's what he was paid to do. These guys.
It's April Fool's Day. People pull this stuff on April Fool's Day.
And I know they do that, and it's pathetic.
I mean, it's a custom. Maybe we don't like it. Maybe it is.
It's a custom. It's a custom.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you turned on Dan Rather tonight and he said the Russians have got nuclear warheads on the way aimed at all of the major cities in America, would you say, ha ha, that Dan, it's April Fool's Day. Nice going. It's a custom?
I don't watch Dan Rather.
See, there you go. I rest my case. This guy don't watch Dan Rather. That's his problem. Anybody that don't watch Dan Rather, as far as I'm concerned, to you, pal, probably watches that guy with a speech defect. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. 22 till 2 at QM. Hank will be here in studio 2 until 5:30. Then he's going to become very, very Jewish, put on his beanie and go flying out of here. 5:30 to 7, we got a good goyish boy.
Yeah.
Jim Mandich going to be here to carry you right up to Panther time, 7 o'clock pregame. Panthers at the Cap, 7:30 tonight. And, of course, the bloom is pretty much off the rose, off the Joe Rose. We're pretty burned out on that Panther crap, on those Panther droppings. Yesterday I was trying to, keep, because we really did have a statistical chance, and we still do, but it's pretty weak, especially after that really, really, really embarrassing effort, if you can call it that, last night. I'm embarrassed for you, boys.
Bingo ate my baby.
Sick of Vaseline? Are you tired of your hand? Are your sheets always stained and a date you cannot land? Is your Kleenex bill high? Is your porno bill higher? If a chick could be bought, would you definitely buy her?
Well, now you can at Dusty's Low Rent Whorehouse. If you've ever wanted a chick, but you're way too ugly, you've even tried to buy them, but you're way too poor, now's your turn.
My mommy gave me $5 for groceries, but instead I got me some satisfaction at Dusty's Low Rent Whorehouse.
So losers of America, unite and go at Dusty's today.
Leave it to me to get to the bottom of the story again, man. I'll tell you. Hank just came in here. I knew the story. There's no way that he would risk 800 years of credibility going on there with that bunch of that bogus morning show and do that crap. Pull the wool over your eyes. Phil Hendrie doing a Hank Goldberg voice.
Are you sure?
Positive. That's the deal. Now, do you have any idea what? It must have been like 5:30 in the morning in L.A., and Phil agreed, being the good guy that he is, agreed to, work on it for a little while, and the voice, too. Did a perfect... Can you get off the table up there? Have you got that thing in the audio vault again? Now, if that isn't one of the greatest Hank Goldberg impersonations...
Are you...
Sure, positive. One more.
Well, I talked with ESPN, the magazine's John Clayton, and he confirmed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, there you go, Phil Hendrie, doing Hank's voice. I knew it. 145 at 560 WQAM 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
Been listening to you for a long time, very long time. I'm a human being, first of all, but foremost, I'm Schwartza. Okay. I'm a Schwartza, very educated and articulate one.
You're a shortstop? Oh, a Schwarzer.
Schwartza. How do you say that, anyways? How do you say that?
Schwarzer.
Okay, I got it. Got it now. I used to live in Toronto years ago.
Right.
And
we can just say Schwo for short.
Okay, we can do that. Lived in Toronto for a long time.
Yeah.
Back in the Clark, Gilmore, Andrew Tuck, Potvin days.
Right. Oh, those 2 great years, man.
Oh, can you believe that?
Before Cliff Fletcher lost his mind, right.
Exactly. Gilmore was like a man possessed.
Right.
But, I go to these Panther games, and these human beings of the white persuasion look at me like, they look at me like, what do you know? Let's see, what they don't understand is I know more about hockey than they have in their little pinky.
Well, that's for sure, because you're from a real hockey city.
There you go.
Culture, right?
So I don't even worry about that. But I used to live in Malton.
In where?
Yeah, I lived in Malton. My wife's, she's Spanish, so she does hair. She used to do Michael Pecker's hair.
Really?
Michael Pecker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 27, Buffalo Sabres.
There you go. There you go. But I was listening this morning. I could not believe it. Could not believe it. And I think that's, you're telling me it wasn't Hank, but if it was Hank, I'd be very surprised and embarrassed for him. That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Very, very ridiculous. But
and what's even more ridiculous is all these sports fags calling in here. The people down here know nothing about sports. I could come on here and breathlessly announce that the entire Dolphin team has been traded for fill in the blank, for 600 draft choices, and the lines of the switchboard out front would be lighting up, and the phone lines here. It's pathetic. These people have got no lives. They don't get it.
Right. Everybody can take a joke. But
all you got to do is go to a Panther game and just see the way that this crowd behaves, and we can have a team here for 100 years. They'll still never understand it. They don't get it.
It's unreal. It's unreal. I hear Joe going on with Gildy's getting married and divorces and his rehab or whatever he's doing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but just wanted to call you and say hello.
Okay.
All righty.
See you on Church Street.
Bye-bye.
Not. Okay, 567, a lot of open lines here, 600 open lines all of a sudden, since they got the real story.
Okay.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. What did I do wrong? Oh, I got the pot off. That's okay. That's okay. I don't want to do any hockey stuff here. These people don't know from it. They don't understand it. They don't care about it. They're more important that they go to their Seder and drink the wine and sit around doing old wives' tales. The old Bubba Meises. Very, very revealing to be in that place last night. One of the biggest fly openers. I mean, you think somebody had been here as long as I have, I'd know all the ropes by now, but not true. The longer you're here, the more you really get a very, very deep understanding of these people and their priorities and what's important to them and what is not. Here's Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how about them Panthers?
They suck.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hey, don't you think we should get rid of Mellenby?
No, I do not.
No?
Why do you say that? Why does anybody want to rag on him? Mellenby is a guy that goes out here and he works hard, he tries hard, he overachieves. He's got 17 or 18 goals. He goes out, he scores important goals. At least Mellenby gives you 100% every night. He's slow, he's frustrating, but still he goes out there, he hits. He plays a tough physical game.
Yeah, I agree.
He gives you an effort. He's not just a figure skater like Victor Kozlov.
I agree with that. I
remember that little ass sucker Geldy getting on about a month ago talking about who's going to be a free agent, who they got to re-sign next year. He said, Victor Kozlov's going to want big bucks next year. Who's going to give Victor Kozlov big bucks? What, for figure skating?
True.
What's he going to do, the Rockettes on ice on ABC or something? What the hell are they going to pay him big bucks for? He's the biggest disappointment in the whole organization.
Hey, another point, though. Let's get another Alex Hicks. That guy's a player.
He's a hard-nosed guy. That's right.
How about that when he came out of the box and laid that hit on that guy that he went in for the coincidental?
Love Alex Hicks. Those are the kind of guys you need on the team.
That guy right there. He's a good
not
player.
number 28 that cuffs the puck up at center ice and turned the whole momentum of the game around.
Let's throw him out
with that bad mistake.
Let's send him to Tampa Bay.
There you go. Okay.
There you go. Bye.
Bye. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, yeah, they're all upset over there at the Cleveland Clinic. Too bad. Maybe if I had some follow-through over there, maybe if I got more than a lick and a smear the few times I've been over there, except when I had my hemorrhoid problem, maybe I'd have a little bit better opinion, okay? And like I said before, I haven't got the foggiest idea of what Pavel Bure's knee looked like when he came here from Russia. Or after the first ACL with Dr. Raterian, or what it looked like a week ago. All I know is that before he went off to Alabama, Rimmer saw his knee, and he said it was pretty damn swollen, and the knee too. So what the hell do I know about it? I didn't make any comments about that, but we got some like I said, it seems that everybody associated with that Panther organization is so sensitive and so uptight. Which always, makes it a good idea to go out and lie to everybody and then come back a couple of days. Oh, well, we had to lie because yada, yada, fill in the blank. Pop. I think this town has been BS'd and BM'd to death, okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I think we've had enough BM to fill up my whole backyard. See ya, Brian. And don't forget the brother with you, okay? The evil twin.